Not quite the start we were going for. So,
Hamish.
Beatrix,
Oh,
the rest of the party is getting themselves organized for their travels to the east. And you had decided to head back home to collect up any other belongings that you had, but also to effectively say goodbye to your family again, as you are now looking at traveling with this eclectic group of individuals that you have found yourselves somewhat entangled with. Um, as you make your way through the busy streets of Dalian's Rest, I just get a little bit of an insight from B. What's B's headspace around this group as a collective, but also potentially any of the individuals that might have stuck out, or any thoughts that she's got about this group that she's now looking at venturing forward with?
I think B is someone that hasn't really found her people really ever. She's kind of gotten close and has almost gotten there a couple of times, all gotten there, but then something's happened and it's meant that, you know, people drift apart or things break or etc. So I think approaching this group, she feels open-minded and as optimistic as she can, but she is also very aware that she can't completely trust everyone all the time. And it's not that she distrusts people, it's just that she has to figure out the right time to let people completely in. I think she sees or feels a lot of empathy towards Miera specifically, with the things that she has kind of had to deal with in terms of mind stuff or heard about mind magic in general, despite this being different. It is a scary concept for her. And someone having a lack thereof control makes her feel very nervous. So there is almost like a, not protectiveness, but there's also a want to, like an almost want to be protective, but not thinking it's her place just yet.
Okay.
That's kind of where she's at.
Amazing. Amazing. You arrive at the front door of your house, and head on in to the very sparsely furnished, slightly cramped abode that you and your family have been living in for really not that long in the grand scheme of things. Both of your parents are there, along with a couple of your siblings, Quinn, your eldest sister, as well as Flynn. Alec, there is no sight of.
Whew.
Um, both of your parents smile as you come through the front door. You can see they're just sort of pottering around doing chores. It's a little bit unusual to find your mother here at this time of day. She would normally be out doing things, as she would often say. But your father greets you warmly. It's like, oh, B, it's good to see you back. Oh, where are the rest of your friends?
I think I wouldn't answer the question. I think I'd just give him like a really big hug. Like probably slightly tighter than usual.
He, somewhat caught off guard, gives you a hug back. And then sort of pushes you back slightly, but in that sort of loving way, with his hands on his shoulders, and he's like, B, dearie, you okay? I always enjoy a good hug, but
I'm gonna look around the room and kind of see that it's more than just my dad here.
mhm.
And I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm okay. I guess I didn't really expect everyone to be home. Is something, should I be worried? Is something going on?
He looks around. Um, your mother's there. She gives you a small smile. She's just making a small meal at the moment. Um, Flynn is 100% not paying attention to what's going on. And Quinn just kind of gives you one of her very typical looks, and she's just like we can all be in the same house sometimes, B. Like that's actually okay.
Well, not all of us. I mean, Alec's not here. Is he mad?
And Quinn says, I mean, you know what Alec is like. I mean, he's always, you know, he's off doing things or he's hanging out with, you know who, and
Ugh.
and your father goes, be
Mm.
nice. Now, is there something is there something going on?
I think I would try and like give him a look kind of like I don't want to talk about this in front of mum specifically. Yeah,
He,
it's great. It's all really good. I am planning on taking a little bit of a trip. Just for a little bit of time. But everything's fine. And
um,
I'd be doing that thing like that you
it's
kind of
fine.
like, hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey, fuck you. Let's go talk somewhere, please, for the love of God.
Your mother glances over. Um, Similar build to you, except her hair's almost white. And as always, unlike your father, there is sort of almost a hardness or an edge around her eyes that you've always known your entire life that your father has never had. Your father's always been the more sort of loving, present parent in comparison to your mother.
Hmm.
But she gives you a look and she looks at her husband, and you can see them exchange a brief sort of moment before he goes, um, dear, do you mind if B and I are just going to go and have a very brief conversation? Uh, and you can hear Quinn off to the side go, oh, I'm going to go and have a conversation. Mm.
I
Um,
hear her say that.
yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna go talk about magic stuff.
she's like, I mean, fine, you go and talk about your magic stuff then, whatever. I
Yeah,
don't
you
care.
and mum can go fight something.
And your mother goes, Beatrix.
No.
Uh,
Okay.
your father goes, okay, let's, and it just without anything else guides you off to a side room.
Okay, great.
Closes door, and he says, "You're you're going back to the Empire, aren't you?"
Uh, um, hold on 1 second, please. And I'm just gonna put my ear up against the door and see if anyone's trying to eavesdrop, if I can hear any movement towards the door.
Make a perception check for me.
Okay. Uh, 21.
You hear the slightest of like scratches at the door as if someone's trying or maybe putting an implement against it, or maybe,
I just go, I can hear you.
and literally as you say that, you hear your mother go, Quinn, get away from the door.
Um, I am gonna move away from the door and I'm gonna keep my voice relatively quiet as I speak. And I'm gonna say, um, going to Wildport.
And then where?
I don't really. Well, I mean, things change, you know. I'm not 100% sure. This group is really indecisive. They're, well, they're not indecisive. They're just getting new information all the time, and I think their direction can change at any point in time. But Wildport is our first definite stop. And I'm really aware that the reason we're here is because of me. and that the reason that we're not in our actual home is because of me. And I'm aware that this is really unfair, that I'm just absolutely going straight back into the mouth of the beast. And it's not fair on any of you. But this is so much bigger than us. And these people, so many of them haven't been to this area of the world yet. And I think they're going to need help. And if I can give that to them, then it's bigger than just me, right?
B, what are you talking about? What's this talk of things that are like, you're saying some concerning things here. I mean, I'm worried in the first place that you're even considering heading back towards the Empire,
I'm
or
not
even going to
considering.
Wildport by itself. But
I'm just gonna do it. And I know that you probably won't approve, and Mum can't know until I'm gone. Neither can Alec or Quinn or Flynn. None of them can know until I'm gone.
you see your father's eyes visibly start to well up as he very, very gently takes you by the shoulders and goes, B, this has nothing to do with whether or not I approve of what you do. You're my daughter, but you're also an adult and you can make any choices that you want. I'm just worried about the choices that you're making. It was so hard for us to get away in the first place. But now you want to go back. Are you sure? Are you sure that this is the right thing to do? Are you sure that you can
No,
trust
I'm
these
not
people?
sure. I'm not sure that it's the right thing to do. I'm not sure how much I can trust these people, but I know that Miera and the stuff that she's dealing with, it is scary stuff. And
Then B, stay here. Stay with us. We can find you a job
what
here
would
in
you do?
Delians. You can see his shoulders like sag as you say that, as a tear just starts to roll down his cheek. He says, damn it, B. We're just too similar.
I don't want to go. But
Is there anything that I can do to help?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm stepping into.
What are
But
we
I
going to
do
tell?
know that I've done it before. We've been through there before, and I can do it again. And it has to be worth it. If I can, if this is anything like what they were up to at the consortium, what Destaria was up to, then I can't not put a stop to it this time. It's bigger than me.
He reaches out and pulls you in, and this time he's the one who hugs you harder.
She would hug him back, and I think she would just start crying.
And you can feel him, that brief intake of someone who is trying hard not to cry, but you feel the tears just on the side of your neck as he says, well, I guess we're gonna have to work out a plan for what we're gonna tell your
Tell
mother.
him that I'm
Yes.
going on an adventure the opposite way. Just long enough to buy it. Don't even tell them where I'm going. Just tell them I'm going, and buy me long enough time to get out of Delian's Rest, and then you can tell them after. I don't want you to lie to them. but just give me enough time to put some distance so that they can't come after me.
He gives a brief nod.
I'm gonna come back.
No, I know. I'm just okay.
And if
Right.
I don't, then
No, Beatrix Everly. That is not an option. You will be coming back, and we will see you back in this house or a nicer house, because I want us to have a nicer house.
we have a lot of friends now. They didn't want to sleep on the floor.
Well, look, and we will try and make something that's appropriate for that. But for now, let's go
If
out
I
with.
don't, though, then you have to make sure everyone knows that I'm okay. And that it was my choice and that you tried to stop me and that I said no.
And again, you sort of you watch as you see the moment when a parent realizes that their child is being more mature than them, where he just breaks ever so slightly.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay, no, we'll
I'm not doing that.
we'll go out, we'll talk. We're going to go and have a really nice time with your mother and with Quinn and Flynn.
I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go.
just-
We're not gonna make this. We're not gonna make this a big deal because everyone will try and stop me, and we can't. I can't do that. I can't do that.
Okay, B. Okay.
I'm just gonna say that I'll see them soon. I'll give them all a hug, and then I'm gonna go.
He takes your hand, and the two of you turn to the door. You open it, and beyond in the room, you can see your mother and Quinn and Flynn. As you think about what lies ahead of you now.
Yeah, and I think like all of my hugs with them would just be like, I'd be telling them that I'm just like going, but they'd just be that like one extra squeeze. And I'd be like, also, someone really has to convince Alec that his girlfriend is really mean. She's really bad, guys. Like, we can't live in this delusion. She's a terrible, terrible person.
And you hear Flynn, of all people, snort as it breaks a little bit of the tension as you continue to go around your family and give them hugs and anticipate what is potentially lying ahead for you and your new friends. Saz, roll the intro. On the streets of the small village of Elderwin, where the party now finds themselves after having crossing through the Scimitar Mountains, now finding yourself on the eastern side, on the very edge of Fayfair, the huge fey-infested forest that dominates most of the country of Tilwith. Most of the party has gone inside to get lodging for the night before venturing further into the forest itself. However, while that was going on, Rowan and Miera are both sitting out on the wagon and have just been approached by 4 individuals, young adults, all wearing various masks, poorly made, in somewhat grotesque or poorly designed caricatures of Fae. The one in the front, who was carrying at his hip, the only one who was armed and wearing a mask that covers the right of his face, made to resemble a kind of creature with a long hooked nose and sharp teeth. The teeth were actually real animal teeth, but the rest of the mask was very basic and ugly. And as the four of them saunter over, all like the rest of the inhabitants here, clothing faded, worn, a drab air about them, much like a drab air about this entire village. The one in the front says to Rowan and Miera, "It's some nice stuff you've got there. Some horses, that cart. I reckon you don't need all of that." And they're approaching you guys and they're fanning out slightly. You can watch, you see as one of the women, very, very short, is heading sort of roughly towards the back of your cart where you've got the horses that you had purchased a long time ago all strung up. None of it's kind of threatening, but it's like a group of people assessing a bunch of stuff as they meander.
Does this feel like to flash back to like little Rowan, like what a bunch of bullies might try and do to say, I don't know, fan out around someone who's got a good lunch?
I think considering Rowan's background,
Yeah.
you are probably getting some hardcore flashbacks.
Don't like this. Don't like this a lot. She's gonna like jump up and I think we've talked before about like her when she's not casting anything necessarily, but goes just a bit like crackly hands.
Yep.
Just being like, I don't think you need to go near them. To the one who's like going as far around as the horses are.
Okay. Make an intimidation roll for me, please.
That is a 22. You asked a charisma caster to roll you intimidation.
Look,
what do you want?
It's the two charisma casters who are here there. So
Miera's in the background looking.
Yeah, the two tiny halflings who just go, hello. I don't think so.
You bring your hands up and that eldritch energy which you have become increasingly proficient with crackles through your fingers. All four of them stop and eye you up. The one who spoke initially rests a hand on the very kind of worn and tattered hilt of the short sword at his hip and goes, all right, I was just kidding. What are you not doing here in our little town?
We're on our way through. Right, Miera?
Just passing through. But why is this your town? Who are you?
This is our town because this is where we live. My name's Broden.
It would be.
You passing through, huh? What, you going to go all the way to Wildport?
I don't think that's any of your business.
You can see him kind of half sneer, the half of his face that you can see from under the mask. Yeah, well. Good luck going to Wildport.
How many people in the party, because I would be aware of this because I'd be able to tell from us traveling, have the Esmeralda shard in shard form?
A question to the group?
Nope.
I mean, I know
does.
Tiernan doesn't. Yeah, I was like, I know Tiernan doesn't because he's in like.
He refuses to play nicely with others. No, Delgrim does though.
Delgrim does?
Like shard forward as in message capability.
As in not other cool superpower, but just like
stat bump plus pager.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just
pager.
Grumpfel's old enough. It's
I think my
a little
intimidation might
Morse
have been higher
code.
than that because I forgot to add the extra 2 from that to my charisma. So anyway, slightly more intimidating, not important. Can I like basically use that but make it so that I can be heard by these guys as well? And just be like, we don't want a fuss. We just like our friends who are inside and our stuff to be on our way when we need it to be.
So it's not sending pro, it's just message.
Oh, it's just message.
Yeah.
Just like counting words. What?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that you're across that was all.
No, just message. So you guys have heard it, but she said it also in such a way as to be clearly talking to somebody else that you can't see or you don't know who I'm talking to.
Excellent. Are there windows out onto that street in this building? Yeah. In which case, I think Delgrim will just kind of head to the window just to get eyes on exactly what's going on.
So
Grumpfel would as well.
So because of the angle and the fact that the cart is covered and fairly large and all the horses and stuff, it'd be you'd maybe catch a glance of this Broden individual. Make both of you make perception checks for me as well.
You'd also probably see Rowan standing on the cart doing crackle nonsense,
Absolutely.
which is not normally a stance.
This is not the carriage you're looking for.
This
What
is
are your
not the
perception
carriage
checks?
you're looking for.
18 on perception.
Ooh.
Wow.
It's almost like you're a wisdom driven.
Again, as soon as we hit the break,
Doing
I'm
ranger
rolling
stuff.
2s and 3s. So yeah, I'll take that while I can get it.
That's a 22 thanking you.
22. So both of you would be able to see whether it was just the angles. You have got a rough idea that you saw the 4 of them and have got an idea that they're probably spread out. You can see just the short woman around sort of towards the back, towards where the horses are, but all of them appear to have stopped.
With that perception check, does it appear as though they're likely to be just openly hostile in this situation, or are they like full on intimidated?
So
in their decks?
I would need you to make an insight check for that. So perception is what you can see, insight is what you can convey around the body language and stuff.
The good news is,
which I'm going to get you to roll at disadvantage, because seeing them as you're at a weird
it can't get much fucking worse than that.
Do you want Grumpfel to do that as well, considering the message that Rowan sent, and we've both gone to the window?
Is Grumpfel trying to understand their intent as well?
Given that Rowan's message was we don't want any trouble, then I think yes, Grumpfel would be trying to ascertain what's going on.
100% then. Yep.
Alrighty.
Delgrim, what did you get?
A 3.
Amazing. Excellent.
They're your best friends, Delgrim. They're your best friends forever.
And it's disadvantage, Grumpfel?
It's disadvantage? Okay,
Yeah.
let me roll the second one. This reminds me of the time that all afire. I was just... what were we doing again?
Yeah, right. Duly noted. Again, like you can see where they are, but you can't see enough of them to really understand the body language or anything of that nature.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think on the grounds of Rowan's message, then Delgrim will probably ask the old woman, is there a back way out of this building at all? Keeping in mind, he has been very helpful and helped her with lighting her fire.
I know, which is very strange when it comes to the elderly and Delgrim. She says
Miera's not there to be the bad influence.
That's just that. Wow, look.
Lies and slander.
So she says,
Delgrim opted not to use the flamethrower.
Yeah, I mean, there's a back door out the back, sure. And her very sort of indifferent sort of way that she's communicated with you.
Yeah. In which case, I think Delgrim would head out there with the intent of kind of being a bit sneaky about it, just getting a line of sight on what's going on here.
Okay. So you head out the back, heading out to the front again. The four of them, they've still stopped, and you can see them watching the two halflings after hearing what you had said, Rowan. The other woman was very tall, like pushing sort of 6 foot. Says to Broden, "Hey, Broden, it's just not worth it. Like, we're just gonna get in trouble or something like that. Let's just leave them alone." And he glances back at her, and like both of you, the two halflings, can see like he's not impressed. And he glances at her and then glances back at you too.
We could help you make the decision if you're struggling.
He smiles a little bit, and it's weird because like you only kind of see half the smile under the mask. He goes, "All right, we'll leave you guys alone. Have a safe trip to Wildport. Hope the Fae don't get ya." Come on, you lot. Let's go find something else to do. And the other three sort of walk back to where he is, just as you're coming around the corner, Delgrim. You can sort of see them coming together, and they start to head off back down the road. And you see as a couple of them spot you coming around the corner and give you a bit of a look, as this little gang of very, like, we're talking sort of like 18, 19-year-olds meander off down the street with that swagger of young adult cocky energy that may or may not be misplaced.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Delgrim, though, this is a power fantasy, not intimidated by it at all, and we'll let them pass.
And they just
Clearer now while they're not looking.
Fireball! And they just head off down the road, leaving you guys in peace for the moment.
I don't think we should stay here. I wasn't really convinced that they won't come back and take stuff.
Rowan just like sits cross-legged on the top of the cart, being like, "And I don't have to sleep. I can just keep an eye, but that's up to all of you. I think the others want to have a nap."
Looking at the state of that inn, I don't know whether sleeping in there is going to be much better than sleeping in the carriage.
I assume Delgrim can hear us at this point, so...
Yeah, but you don't know he's there.
Well, I don't know. If you were trying to be stealthy, make a stealth roll about it.
Oh, no.
Bloody will.
Delgrim falls over the bins at the back.
That is a 19 for a dirty 20.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, look. You don't know that Delgrim's there, probably.
Cue the Pink Panther music.
So, with the local ruffians having moved off for the moment, what is the party's plan? Because it is, I believe it was late afternoon, and you guys were looking at kind of resting for the evening before plunging into the depths of the Faefair.
I believe that was the plan. Currently, Delgrim's just going to head back in that back door.
Wasn't this the last place to stop before we entered the woods?
Sorry?
Talking to the rest of the party, wasn't this
okay.
the last place before we entered the woods? Wasn't that the intent?
Pretty much. I think it was the town that we came into and the woods kind of sprawling beyond it. And yeah, so we did literally come in here with the idea of a place to stay, right, DM? And established pricing and whatnot. I generally don't
Tiernan's
recall.
already paid.
You had already financially paid for all this stuff. It was
Oh, that's
it was
unfortunate.
very, very cheap.
Rowan doesn't know that,
Yeah.
to be clear. So
Cool.
It's like 5 coppers and a mothball. It was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I think
Oh,
the
no.
mothball's part of the stew.
but it's my favorite mothball.
Okay, cool.
Well, what was the intent?
Yeah, well, clearly that was the intent.
To keep my mothball.
How's my
Anyone
fire
Had any
looking?
other plans?
I'm like Grumpfel's in favour of to stay here if everyone is, because if we are making the way through the forest, then this will be the last comfortable night's sleep before we are camping it.
Yeah. Hey, B came inside with us, right?
Yep.
Cool, little social interaction. B, tell me, while we are waiting for Rowan and Miera, what do you make of all this mage rot business? You seem to be able to do the hooly-dooly from, magic-y secret things. Keep that low, not knowing kind of how that's felt around here. Are you worried about... You were very quiet while we were discussing our plan to go into Rendarian Empire.
I mean, it's your plan. First of all, Hooly Dooly is like not what it is. I studied really hard to learn all my magic. And it took me a lot of time. So that's really dismissive and I don't know if I like it. But I'm okay. I'm not worried about the mage rot.
Okay, good. I am worried for Miera, mostly. Since she's most in danger of potentially even worse than death than she already was that we have saved her from. I have concerns.
Yeah, the mage rot is a serious thing. Like, it's not anything to kind of mess with. There are ways that you can prevent it, and I'll say this part quietly. There's definitely ways to prevent it, but it's not. You can't just like walk in and say, "Hey, prevent me from getting mage rot." You have to like go through some stuff.
What kind of stuff?
We probably shouldn't talk about it here. Here's not a good spot, I would say. I'm happy to talk about it, I guess. But probably not. I look around in this, like we're just standing in a fucking tavern, right?
But you are the only other people in the tavern would be those of the party who are inside.
Still
or
nervous.
Now inside, and there is the old woman. There was another gentleman who was helping her out, and in a chair over by like the hearth, there's a dwarf who's like slumped in the chair, and you can hear him snoring quietly, like an elderly individual.
This might be like a cart conversation.
Perfect. I think we need to go get Rowan and Miera and tell them we are staying here the night. Right, Tiernan?
Oh yeah, I've already paid the proprietor.
Excellent. Who would like to recover our friends from outside?
Yeah, but let's maybe stay in there a little bit. I can fill you in on stuff that you should probably know. And then come back in. Can we all fit in this cart? Is that a thing?
We all came in on it. It's like
okay, great, excellent.
It's like traveling in the cart is fine. It would be big enough to fit everyone pretty comfortably, plus all your gear and stuff. Plus, also, I think you've got like 3 extra horses that you guys took with you that you've been riding, which you could strap supplies and stuff to as well. So
yeah, cool. In which case, we'll head back outside then to check in officially and unsneakily on Rowan and Miera.
Cool. What are you guys? What's Rowan and Miera doing on the cart? Yeah, after this little encounter.
I mean, Rowan is sitting on the top of it, like keeping an eye out for. Nope, not calling him Brian. It's not his name. Broden and his friends. She's like, because obviously all of our stuff is here and our horses, and she's like, oh, we're not losing that. So she's just kind of plonked herself cross-legged on the top of it in like watch cat mode, if that makes sense.
Love it. Love it.
I had this image of Merry and Pippin after the Battle of Isengard celebrating, and then the other we all come out and they're like, oh, welcome back. Everything's done.
Amazing. All right, and what about you, Miera? Anything in particular, or?
I'll probably be like standing close to Rowan, but like in the back of the carriage, seeing if I can make it move, like swaying side by side, just to see if I can.
Considering how small you are, like it's
Don't you take this away from her? This is the most Miera thing ever, and I love it.
Yeah.
Just running backwards and forwards between the sides of the car.
Yeah. The cart moves like just so slightly.
Good.
Like there's the canvas sides like covering the back of it, and you just see like every now and then she bounces off one. There's just a slight little indentation.
Do I need to make any form of check to stay balanced on the top of it? That's how little it's moving. Great.
Look. Yeah. This is not a bouncy castle, as much as Miera might be trying.
But I would also mention to Rowan too, like about they seemed very anti-Fae, but the masks.
I know. It looked like the ones from that weird place with the lady with the ball.
Yeah. It just seems strange that they would be wearing something like that, but be like, Fae will get you. I don't know. It seemed a bit weird.
I agree. I mean, maybe they're doing that thing where it's like, oh, the big bad Fae, so we'll dress up like them so we seem scared. Like, she is fully mocking the kinds of people that would have bullied her when she was little. Like, it's like, they dressed up like this and like.
Amazing. So, with evening, with dusk falling, is there anything in particular the party is wanting to do for the evening? And if not, what are the intentions with the cart and all of that sort of stuff?
Tiernan will be talking with the innkeeper about the how far away Freeport is, the travel time, all that sort of stuff for the woods.
Wildport?
Wildport.
I thought you said Freeport Ford. Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, Heath?
Oh, sorry. At an opportune moment, Grumpfel will just sort of approach Tiernan and go, I believe you have a way of magically guarding or warding something, perhaps on the wagon, given what almost transpired outside.
What happened outside?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
But,
we haven't talked about it. He has no idea.
No. Oh shit, that's right. Tiernan doesn't have the shard. Yeah, sorry.
We did get vibes.
Me and Tiernan are just living in ignorance, like la la la. Today.
No, sorry. I'll walk that
Ignorance
back.
is
That's
bliss.
right. Tiernan doesn't have that. I was thinking like, Rowan sent out that message, and like a Grumpfel, having been on a trade caravan before, can only assume that something's happened and it's been taken care of, and was going to say to Tiernan about warding at the thing. But that's right. I'll walk it back because we just established that Tiernan doesn't have the shard.
It's all right.
That's totally cool.
Tiernan doesn't know. Tiernan doesn't
If you're
know.
worried
Yeah.
about the
Alright.
wagon, I can always set up some alarm for us if you like.
So, Tiernan, with you asking about travel time and stuff like that, you have a bit of a conversation with the innkeep, the elderly woman whose name you find out is Bridget. Tells you that Wildport is roughly 10, 12 days travel, depending on, weather and all that sort of stuff. She refers to the way to get to Wildport is going down the Twilight Road. She is, again, just tired. You as you talk to her more, you realize that it's not disinterest. She just seems to be very, very tired and worn down. And the other individual who is assisting in the inn is an elderly dwarf who you find out is called Odrin. He potters about. He helps out Bridget wherever he can. He appears to be the one who does a lot of the cooking and stuff. But yes, 10 to 12 days travel, approximately.
Well, I thanked them and I said, it seems like you guys you have fallen on some hard times, and I'm just going to slip them a single gold coin.
Bridget looks down at the coin, somewhat surprised.
And I just shh, and just close her hand so she doesn't.
Oh, and she goes, oh, I mean, it's just the briefest moment of a flicker of life in her eyes. As she takes it, she says, "That's very generous of you, sir. Thank you. Thank you." And she tucks it away, and she turns to Odrin and says, "Odrin, can you maybe try and make some of the better stew? Do we have any of the ingredients at all?" And Odrin just sort of gives a brief nod and heads off. And as you guys are sort of going about your bits and pieces in the inn, he comes out with a little pot of stew, which is infinitely, well, when I say it's infinitely better to the food that they gave you earlier, it's like going from one of the worst stews you've ever had to something which is maybe not it's not great, but the vegetables aren't soft. Soft in that almost going off sense. The meat's not quite as chewy, still you're not entirely sure what it might be. But I'd also like everyone to make a perception check for this. Everybody who's inside the inn.
Yeah, so I think while this is going down, so Delgrim would have gone out to fill in Miera and Rowan on the situation of having acquired a place to sleep. And I guess would encourage then B to follow to have that conversation.
Yeah, I think I would have wouldn't have needed encouragement. I would have just followed naturally after that conversation.
Cool. Awesome. Nice. So those of you who are inside the inn, what did people roll for their perception checks? Which I think at this stage is now just Tiernan and Grumpfel.
15.
Sorry?
15.
15? Grumpfel?
26.
20 fucking just
19 and plus 7.
Can you find a finger in the stew?
So Tiernan, you notice when the door closes behind Delgrim and B as they go outside, nailed to the back of the door is a horseshoe. Grumpfel, what you notice is the same horseshoe, but over all of the windows and doors in this place, you see small metallic items, whether it might be a horseshoe, whether it's something else nondescript. But with that roll, it's pretty obvious. And actually, Tiernan, considering your background, you probably know that all of these things appear to be made from iron. Those of you who have gone outside, is there anything that you want to sort of RP out there, or is this just a go outside, let know what's going on?
Yeah, so initially it's be Rowan, Miera. Tiernan has arranged some rooms for evening. Any trouble out here for you?
No trouble. We sorted it.
Very good.
We had some creepy kids approaching the, well, I think they're creepy. They were bigger than us, clearly, because, I mean, everyone is. But they had weird masks on. One of them was called Broden, and he said he owns the town, though I don't necessarily think that's true. But they ran away.
I saw them running away. Did a very good job of scaring off the small child. Well done.
Rowan can be pretty scary when she puts her mind to it.
I'm not scary. I'm just
you
very
scared
polite.
them.
I was just being very polite and telling them not to touch the horses. I did nothing else.
Which, technically speaking, is not a lie. Technically speaking, that's all she did.
We'll make sure Tiernan set up some kind of alarming around cart in case little children want to come back and try and steal little things. We take all important things inside with us, perhaps. Yes?
I only need to sleep for 4 hours, so I can always come and check.
I don't need to sleep, so I can just...
She just like
there'll be the slightest roll of Delgrim's eyes when Rowan says that. Just I want to say it's like the third time it's been mentioned now. The second the word sleep is said.
But like, well, no, hang on. To be fair, B's just gone, I only need 4 hours. So I think I don't need to sleep. Like, that's a fair extension. Like...
I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you, Delgrim's rolled his eyes.
Well, I personally need a full 8 hours, so
I know.
I'm gonna go in. So I'm gonna jump down off the cart and go inside.
Before you do, Miera, B here apparently has some maybe important information that would be useful to share, especially for yourself before we go to this place. Not the wild pot, but before we go into Rendarian Empire, where...
Oh, I can tell you about Wildport too.
That we'll talk about on way, perhaps, but I think it's important to establish if there is a way to protect Miera from Mage Rot, exactly what that is.
Should this be a whole group discussion?
Apparently, they are not at risk of contracting it. I feel like you are the one who need to know.
Oh, I want to be really clear. I can't help Miera.
You mentioned this before, but you also say there are ways to help Miera. What do you know of these ways?
Hamish, I'm gonna take a moment and scan the entire fucking horizon. Like, B just turns in a circle and make sure that there is no one around.
Make a perception check.
Yeah, great.
So this is you guys outside.
Oh no.
I kind of, yeah.
Look, I've got a good modifier, so it's not as bad as it could have been. 11.
Ham, if B is being quite overtly like looking to check there's nobody, I have been on full scan alert for the past like chunk of time. Can I also roll a perception to see if like...
Yep, that makes sense. Yep.
B's just like literally just going...
Okay.
Math 20.
Math 20. Okay. Look, Rowan, off in the distance, far down the road, you see someone sort of like shamble across between a couple of buildings, someone going about their day. But again, there is that unsettling lack of people, at least outside, and neither of you see anybody at all.
There's no one around B, at least no one in here in distance that I can see.
Okay. Great. That's good. There's really only one way that I know to prevent mage rot. And basically, you have to go through these trials at the Arcane Consortium. They're called, and Ham, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. I think it's Courage trials.
Yep. Perfect.
So you have to like study for a long time, and then basically you go through your inoculation, and you can no longer get the major after the trials.
So, does that mean you've done the trials?
Yeah, it does.
So weren't we supposed to be avoiding the consortium and...
Oh, we are. We're avoiding the consortium.
But you were a member?
Yeah.
Now it makes sense why you're so quiet while we're having conversation about sneaking into Rendarian Empire and making sure Miera not get killed.
Yeah, because I don't want Miera to get killed. Basically, my dad is really good at magic. Really good at magic. The rest of my family, not so much. I don't want to bore you with the details, but basically, I was really good at magic, or I had like a taking to it, and so it was kind of natural for me to go and study at the consortium. And I was doing really well. Was really good at magic. A lot of the people that taught there tried to mentor me, and I ended up finding a mentor, and it was going really well. And then I realized that I saw some stuff and my values definitely didn't align, and I wanted to get out of there really quickly. The problem with leaving the consortium is that you can't. Once you're in, you're in. So we ran away. We ran away, and we went through Medovia and Wildport, and we ended up at Dalian's Rest, and one of my siblings nearly died. It was really scary, because those spellhounds, they don't mess around. They're really, really scary. And now we're just kind of setting up at Dalian's Rest.
Well, look who just became a shit ton more useful. No, Delgrim will literally pull everyone in. So who we got? Says Rowan, Miera, B, and Delgrim. Okay, yeah, we'll pull in. No one breathe a word of this to Tiernan.
Oh no.
Tiernan is from a place he has very strong feelings about the Empire, based on interaction with Gerlach.
Oh, I'm not. Who's Gerlach? Have I heard of Gerlach?
Oh,
no.
He's the
Great, we did discuss
yes, you
this,
have. No, you have, because I talked about.
Oh,
Gerlach
I mean before before that.
You've heard about Gerlach in the room.
Yeah,
but
I don't know him from the consortium. Yeah.
I don't know. That's a bad question.
Sorry, that's what the no was.
You've heard me talk about Gerlach being the person I swap places with from the consortium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a couple of other things you should probably know about the consortium in general. There was like one time, I don't really know what I heard, but there was like one time where I was going to meet my mentor, and I heard her talking to someone through the door. I don't really know what she said, but she did mention the Astilian Circle. And she said like the person she was talking to, she was kind of referring to them as her whole heart. But that's all I heard.
Rowan,
Mm-hmm.
make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Oh,
beg your pardon?
no! What?
Nope. That's an 8.
You are sitting up on top of the wagon, and your rock.
I am also wearing slippers of the cat. So
your rock literally pulls you off the top of the cart with such a violent movement.
I cast slow
Hang on.
Oh, hold on. What do the slippers do again?
So when I fall while wearing them,
that's sorry.
I land on my feet, and if I and then there's a thing about saving if I'm gonna take damage.
Yeah.
But if I fall, I am landing on my feet regardless.
So you get pulled off the top, but you watch as almost uncomfortably, or not uncomfortably, acrobatically, I should say, Rowan, you suddenly just sort of find yourself on your feet, and your rock, it's almost vibrating in your pocket.
Oh. Sorry. The crap? She's gonna pull it out because, that's not staying in your pocket if it's...
The sensations...
Phrase that differently, Kate. Phrase that sentence differently. Hang on.
No, you were. What was the phrasing?
No. I heard it before I said it. Nope, I heard it before I said it. Nope. It's fine. Move on. I'm going to remove the rock from my pocket.
The sensations from the rock after B says that are intense.
Ham, can you rephrase that, please?
That had nothing to do with the phrasing at all. It was the hand movement.
Wow, I hated him.
I'm so sorry. No, hey, serious. No. Let's go.
She's like, excuse me, camera? I exist, camera.
No. Start waving.
There we go.
There you go.
She's pulled it out of her pocket and it's in her hand. So if it is visibly moving,
it's not visibly moving, but you for you,
yes.
It's the sense, it's the feelings, almost raw emotion coming from it.
I have a question.
Yep.
Technically, in my bag, which I'm sitting on the cart, I feel like I've gotten myself to me at this point. There's another one of these.
Yep, correct.
Are they both doing this? As in, do I currently have a small, vibrating cushion in my spine?
No, you don't get any sense. You don't get any feeling from the other one doing
it's just
anything.
one. Yep. Just one out of two. Cool. I don't want to say you need to repeat yourself, B, but can you say that again?
Which part?
He's staring at her. What you just said. She is tuned out
the whole
of what
thing?
you said.
Okay.
No, just the last sentence and a half. She's
Cillian
staring
circle.
at this thing.
Person she was person she was talking to, her whole heart.
That statement, and there's those sensations through the rock.
Don't like that. Don't like the whole heart business. Don't like that at all.
I like it. That is a great clue. That is lead on Australian circle that we need.
Yeah, and she's gonna hold the rock up at you. But I don't like that at all.
Is the rock visibly moving?
No.
Why? Rowan, do you not like that? This makes no sense to me.
We're there in the room when I talked about the fact this was given to me randomly, and you've also been told about it. But I don't know how to explain things. But the thing about the heart made the rock do a weird, and I fell off the cart. I don't normally just fall off the cart.
I was going to ask if you're okay, but you landed on your feet. You seem fine, and it was such an interesting story. I didn't know which way to go. I'm sorry.
It was really cool.
Was cool.
Oh, okay. So rock. Well, this is all very exciting. But again, if Tiernan finds out about any of this, I feel like he's going to react very badly, and it's not a good idea.
With that statement, we are going to quickly pan across into the inn where Tiernan and Grumpfel have been giving money, probably getting a few things sorted out. You guys would realize that the others have gone outside and they haven't come back in for a bit. And it's actually so quiet, you can probably hear... In fact, I'll get you to make perception checks, because rolling dice are fun.
19.
And what was yours, sorry, John?
7.
So you can't, but Grumpfel, you can hear both, you can't hear exactly what's being said, but you can certainly hear excitement and high emotion in both Delgrim and Rowan's voices at the moment from outside.
Yeah. Okay. Grumpfel is just going to get Tin's attention and point out the iron around the room, doorways and that. I believe you saw that as well.
I noticed the horseshoe on the back of the door.
Yes.
Bridget, what's the story with the horseshoe and the metal everywhere?
Grumpfel's going to proceed outside.
Okay. So you watch as Grumpfel heads outside. When the door opens, you get a much bigger blast of excited voices, which this time Tiernan you hear. But you don't hear exactly what's being said, although you think maybe you hear your own name, maybe, possibly. As Bridget says, iron, cold iron. It's, Origin believes that it protects against the Fae. Which,
Does it work?
Well, I mean, it does to a greater or lesser extent. He's very superstitious. I mean, we don't really have anything to worry about here, but I mean, he is not a fan of the Fae, so anything to do to potentially keep them away, he'll do.
I might continue this conversation in a moment. What on earth are my companions doing out there? And
So
I will hop up and walk out with the intent to set up the alarm around the wagon anyway.
So you come out just after Delgrim. You've sort of said, "For the love of God, don't tell Tiernan anything." And you see Tiernan and Delgrim as you come out. Rowan now on the ground, probably still holding up the stone. Delgrim looking very animated, and everyone else sort of standing around, probably looking a little bit sort of surprised by what's going on.
Well, that's a little rude. And I'm going to start setting up the alarm.
We all stop talking and look at
Sorry, just start getting stuff out of the cart to take inside.
Rowan is just going to go, sorry, Tiernan, we were talking about there were 4 people who came to try and take our stuff, and we didn't want you to be worried. That's all.
Why would I be worried?
Because you worry about everything and you keep trying to punch people. Like, she's just saying it like...
But you and Miera are reliable, dependable companions. You could have handled those 4 easily.
You don't. I'm pretty dependable. Maybe.
You were inside with me.
You were inside, to be fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, I'm misunderstanding because like we're here now and everyone's keeping the cart safe.
Yes.
And I think it's all good.
Maybe it's all good now. I just didn't want to worry Tiernan, right, everyone? That's what we were just talking about.
But B, maybe when you make statements like that, don't end them with maybe, because it kind of sounds like you're not too sure.
Oh no, like I think from my standpoint I am, but I can't judge how you measure that.
So you had all this excitement over that.
Oh,
okay, I have no idea what you guys were talking about, but you could literally hear half of it from inside.
Well, not to add to the excitement, but Tiernan and I both observed inside that the innkeepers have cold iron hammered everywhere inside, over doorways and windows and the such.
I believe one of the proprietors, the Aldrin. I don't know if it's superstition or not, but let me bang out this alarm around. Is this where we're setting up the wagon?
Tiernan, I can tell you're suspicious. Let me confess.
I am?
I don't know. You're acting weird. I don't know you that well. You're all acting weird. But hey, let me confess. We were getting excited because I am a bit of a bookworm. And I've actually read a lot on Wildport. So I think I might be able to help you guys navigate through it a little bit.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't bring this up sooner.
Oh, it's been a long couple of days or day. or time, passage of time.
So is this book knowledge, or have you been there before?
Oh, this is. I've just, I've read a lot about it.
Hey, B.
Mm.
Hey, B. Can you make us a nice big juicy deception check?
Big old juicy.
Like I feel like, and John, like, correct me if I'm wrong with this. I feel like Tiernan's gonna 100% be like not trying to peg if she's telling the truth.
Not doing any insight check at all.
Surely that means advantage on that deception check. Almost definitely.
It impacts on the DC. It impacts on the DC. So let's see what we got.
It's a 19, baby.
Wow. Yeah. Look. The rest of you guys are pretty convinced by what B is also saying, despite the fact that you know that she is 100% lying. But for John, no.
Oh, well, isn't that fortuitous?
Yeah.
So we're going the right way?
Yeah, we're going the right way, I think. I've read about it, so I don't know, I don't have a map. But I can tell you about maybe what to expect when we get there.
Okay. Or what about any advice traveling through the woods?
What did you say? Sorry, it's like you just blipped for a moment.
Okay, sorry. Any advice for traveling through the woods?
Oh yeah. So there's this thing called the Accord, and basically they stop the Fae from attacking people. It's like a truce, kind of like if you step into Fae territory, it's the Fae's territory. They can just do whatever they want. But the Accord kind of handle everything else. There's a place called the Court, and it takes up a bunch of the middle of the city. It's kind of, there's a lot of Fae there. And you probably you should be careful there. We all need to be so careful, because if we go into the Court, that's Fae territory, right? So the Accord doesn't protect us.
So this is, okay, is the Accord a group of people or a place?
Yeah, like an organization, I guess. Ham, correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay, great.
So the Accords it's like
an agreement.
It's an agreement.
Okay, great. Yeah, cool. I read it wrong. Do you know, sometimes I read things and it just reads one way and it's not what it is. But now reflecting on it, I think it's just more of an agreement than it is a person or organization.
So how do we know if we're accidentally entering the Fae area, or the area for the Fae?
Well, I mean, the Court is very obviously Fae territory. So
this is just wild port. This isn't the whole.
No. This is just wild port. Yeah. So that's a big thing. Probably, don't go in there unless we're planning on playing by every single rule and being super respectful and not, everyone needs to keep their sass to themselves. And we just need to be super obedient.
Just out of curiosity, is the entire party just turn and look at Delgrim, or is it just Tiernan?
I mean, Rowan doesn't, because
if Miera's eyes could go in two separate directions, one would be looking at Delgrim, the other one would be looking at Tiernan.
Suck it. Delgrim is currently busy setting out a piece of rope on the seat of the cart, about a 5-foot piece of rope on the seat of the cart, and will then cast snare. Nobody sit on this chair until we are ready to leave, and I remove.
What's the duration on snare?
8 hours.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Also, in addition to what B has said, so with Fae now as one of my favorite enemies, is there some kind of check that Delgrim can make just to see if there's anything to kind of add to that, to interacting with Fae in general? I just want to make a roll because I have advantage of it and it makes me happy.
Make a history check for me.
Sure. With advantage, 17.
17. You very, very vaguely recall from a number of years ago, back in Narvalorj, that there were conversations around Faefair, which is the forest, and the Fae, and you do, now that you hear B mention something about the Accords, it's like that thing that you forgot about, that like at the time you heard about it, it was completely irrelevant and non-important to you, but now you're like, oh, I vaguely recall something about that, and it possibly being an agreement that encompassed more than just Wildport. But that's probably about all you can kind of remember. It was a long time ago, when you were probably not nearly as invested in the Fae as what you are now.
Okay, great. Useful to know. I won't enter the conversation because I don't trust Delgrim not to screw up the deception check from earlier.
Yeah.
But great.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think the last couple of things that B would spew out is and not actually spew is okay, so if we go into the court, there's like a group of people that are there, and they call themselves the Fair Folk, and they dress up really elaborately, and they wear these cool masks, and they get a really good reception. So I don't know, like if you do want to go in there and maybe you think you can sneak, that might be a thing. Probably wouldn't risk it, because I think I'm not very sneaky. And that the court is also ruled over by like a group of people or something. I don't know what they are. They're called the Chorus. So like that's some stuff that you should know about the Twilight Roads specifically. We need to stay on the path. We can't stray from the path. If we stay on the path, we should be okay. If we stray from it, I can't make any promises.
Did you say the Fair Folk were the people to talk to in the court, if we had to?
They're just people that are well received. I don't know much more than that.
So B, just to elaborate a little bit on that, the Fair Folk, they're almost like hardcore Fae fans. Like it's like people who go and like buy all the merch and all that stuff for their favorite artists. Like these are people who are truly obsessed with the Fae. Hence why, they get a bit of a sort of a pass when dealing with them.
Have you Tiernan, have you ever gone and seen, like sat in a tavern and seen like a bard or a performer, and you've just gone, they're really good, I'd watch them more than once?
Yeah, sure.
And then you've kind of gone, wow, I really wish I could like listen to them on some sort of portable music system. Well, basically, the Fair Folk are like that, but for the Fae. They're like, they really want to be around the Fae, and they enjoy them as a concept. And so they're big supporters and lovers of the Fae.
So they wish to make a musical device?
No, they don't. It was a metaphor. They really like the Fae.
Okay. All right. I think I know what you mean.
Okay.
But why are we all sitting out here?
We were just talking about protecting the cart.
Taking out things inside to our rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a fatal attraction.
Oh, I'm just finishing up this alarm.
Again, no one sit on seat of cart. There is strap set there, and it will hang you in the air.
So, with all of this now in place, various things put in here, Rowan, were you intending on staying out here for the night?
She's gonna stick around out here for a bit, mostly like with the alarm set and stuff, but just more to dissuade the ne'er-do-wells as much as possible.
Yeah. Legit.
You won't set
Hamish.
you won't set off the alarm, Rowan.
Yeah. Okay.
Hamish, if it's okay, I would like to, if like that's all happening, I would like to, sorry, Miera, make eyes at Rowan and Delgrim to attempt to, whenever they, like this, whenever it kind of looks like everyone's about to head back into the tavern, to kind of try and make them stay behind without being like, hey guys, stay behind.
Well, Rowan's going to stay behind anyway, so really the only person you need to get the attention of is...
Delgrim, make an inside check. Sorry, Jake.
No, it's Captain Wise. That's all I said.
I was going to ignore the result anyway and go inside, but it was a nat 1.
Yeah, like you 100%. Like trying to do it. Yeah.
He'll trudge a bunch of bags upstairs. He will come back down after an amount of time, though.
If he comes back down, I'm like actually physically gonna grab his arm.
Gonna body him outside.
He will head back down after having dumped a bunch of bags in their rooms.
Cool.
Miera, when she goes inside, can I have a look at the iron things that are around the place?
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if maybe, because Miera comes from a very small town that also would have very like superstitious people. So I'm wondering if maybe she's kind of seen iron used at home, or she's heard of like stories.
I love how you're going about thinking about that. So make a history check for me, please, Miera.
3.
Sorry?
3.
3. Nah, look, I mean, you back in Sparkletown, they've got all sorts of like superstitions and stories and stuff like that, but nothing with. I mean, as far as you're aware, there weren't even really Fae around your neck of the woods. So you're like, I don't know why people have got metal over doorways and stuff. This is weird.
Yeah, all of the Sparkletown superstitions are kind of like nice ones, like step on a crack, and a bunny will come and kiss you, or something like that. You know, like it's just really kind of nice things.
Awesome. I don't suppose like a sudden memory about iron would have occurred to Delgrim with that history check earlier, which is kind of what I was fishing for, but obviously didn't make that clear.
Yeah, look, I think with that, you would have heard like stories of like cold iron being something that's used to keep the Fae away, or used to hurt Fae as well.
Okay. Lovely. Cheers.
That's bloody lovely, really.
So,
good.
B, you probably somehow finagle getting Delgrim and Rowan.
I will physically stop him if I have to.
Yeah.
He'll come back down, and specifically to Rowan, wanting to have a chat anyway.
Cool. So before we get into that, Grumpfel, is there anything, because there's lots of these things going on and Grumpfel's just kind of doing the Grumpfel thing, is there anything that you're wanting to do through all of these different things? Like, I feel like Grumpfel's almost sort of sitting on the outside observing
he is
the
a little bit
machinations of your friends.
Sort of just making hay of what's happening. Given that he has been part of a trade caravan before, given what was seen inside with the cool roll with the cold iron, is there a stables alongside the tavern?
No, there was no stables beside the tavern. Yeah.
All right. There is an area to tie off your horse out front.
Correct.
Does that have any cold iron attached to it?
Not that you can see. No.
Okay. I might go and ask in just a moment for something like that. But what he will do in the meantime, since there's no stables, I was hoping that there would be, and there might be some cold iron like, hung up around in the stables, and say, hey, let's move the wagon and that inside. Given that that's not going to happen, what I might do is look over the wagon and find either the brake or a way to prevent the wagon from moving a pin, some sort of moving piece that we can stop.
Just so takes the wheels off the wagon entirely.
It's up on cinder blocks. No, but I will let the others know what he's doing, just so like if it's going to get pinched, then we're going to make it damn hard. Like there's a snare, there's an alarm. That requires us getting down there in time. So Grumpfel's thinking like if there's a handbrake under the wagon as part of the wheel, or he can rig something up or suggest to someone that may be better with such things to temporarily immobilize the wagon.
look, the wheels, the way the wheels are attached, there would be like so it would be sort of put onto the giant sort of spoke, or the giant axle, and then there'd be like a metal or a wooden peg that would kind of keep the wheel secured. So you could probably with Tiernan's help, because Tiernan being sort of adept with tools and the like, remove the peg without sort of damaging the wheel too much, so that if someone did try to take off, the wheel would very, very quickly rattle loose and fall off.
Yeah. When I've previously...
sorry to interrupt, but I'd also point out when Tiernan was walking around doing the alarm, as he's done again and again and again, he actually uses ball bearings, which look like what you're after, Grumpfel, regarding the cold steel.
Iron.
It's not steel.
Two
it's
very
cold
different
iron.
things.
It's actually,
iron.
it's actually chrome steel, which is 90% iron.
But isn't cold, like, not metagaming, but isn't cold iron very specific?
It is very specific.
Because
in what way?
It has to be left in the fridge for 4 hours.
Yeah.
It does. It's the forging process, which is actually partly utilized.
I could nerd real hard about this, but I'm trying really hard not to derail us into a science explanation of the differences.
In previous adventures, the wagon, the caravans I've been a part of had locking mechanisms to immobilize. It was just so that the horses didn't get spooked and run off and drag the goods and leave us to run after them. Suggest that perhaps if this wagon has one, we engage it. If it doesn't, we find some way to temporarily immobilize without destroying or wrecking, something that if we need to make a hasty retreat is something that we can fix rather fast as well.
Oh, that's easy enough to do, and we can come up with like a little rope tighten, which will slowly wrap around the axle and just stop moving the wheels as it goes to move.
Yeah, that I'm sure that would work. Absolutely.
Cool. So the two of you would go about getting basically locking down the cart as much as possible, and then potter off inside, and then not long after there is the opportunity for B, Rowan, and Delgrim to have a conversation. Miera, I just will quickly, I don't want you to be left out with all this. Is there anything in particular you're wanting to do?
Eat some mothball soup.
Amazing.
She hungry.
Hot.
I just help to drive off 4 criminals. I'm
Famished.
my mothball.
Yeah. So, what I'm going to suggest now is that we actually take a small break because the DM is possibly about to pee himself.
Do it on stream.
Hey, you shouldn't drink so many shoeies of hot sauce.
That's
look,
right.
Yeah,
We will need an update as to whether or not it's spicy yet.
Yeah.
We'll also point out that D20 was trying to hustle you to do shoeies on this stream.
Yeah.
Look, no.
Also, shout out to Split the Party. Up to, what was it, $13,500 now? As part of the holiday spectacular. Absolutely awesome.
Up to 13,500, etc., but also up to truly so many future medical bills for everyone involved.
My insights will never be the same. But we'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes because we've got a whole heap that we want to get through. So we'll see you back very, very soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you in 5 minutes or so.
Oh no!
I assume
One job, Saz. One job.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
We had a tiny human derailment. It's
what was
fine.
it saying about the production quality? Yeah.
Wow. Promethean.
Holy shit.
I love you, Saz.
Violence. Fuck.
swallowed
Don't
and you want to
spit.
spit,
Come on.
Promethean?
Come on.
So where's the
Spit,
question?
spit,
Oh wow!
spit.
Hey, hi, welcome back, everyone.
Oh, Delgrim does swallow. Now we know.
Yeah, eventually, it takes him a while, though, apparently.
Hey,
Fucking hell.
thanks very much, everyone, to who've chosen to hang out with us tonight, and also sorry, you're spending time with us, and time is the one thing that we never get back, and so it's super valuable, and we really appreciate you spending time with us. So thank you, and we really like it. But
Unless you have a chronomancer with you, you can
Yeah.
wind back time.
if
Well-
I could wind back, no, I'm not doing that. Okay,
You don't know how many times I've done it already.
yeah, well, that's this entire campaign's been wound back. Okay, so
That's an overshare.
So we find ourselves outside of the inn, and at this stage, it's starting to get dark. Dusk has definitely fallen, and B, Rowan, and Delgrim all find themselves outside of the cart, while the rest of the party is inside, getting themselves settled into their very, very poor rooms with very, very simple beds. So, the three of you, hand it over to you guys.
I
Rowan,
really like that card.
Rowan explained what was your rock doing.
I don't know. It was like, well, it wasn't moving, but it felt like it was moving. Like it was really weird.
What
Like
made
it's
it?
not done that before.
What made it move? You asked B. You asked B to repeat the thing.
Yeah, when she was talking about the heart thing, it didn't. I don't want to say I didn't like it very much because I'm not putting words in the rocks. Mouth.
What was
I
it?
don't
Like-
think rocks have mouths.
No,
Mhm.
caves do though. So maybe it's like, and she could completely derail at this point, but I'm deliberately not going to allow her
No,
to.
Rowan, we need to focus because if we are going to sneak into the Darian Empire through desert where your rock come from, this may be important in some way I do not yet understand. Was it the whole hut thing that made it what it did?
So
I mean-
again, with the mention of that term, Rowan, you do feel the rock react.
Yeah,
It is not as intense
yeah,
this time, but it's a sensation that you've certainly never felt from it. And now that it's slightly subdued, you don't think it's not a negative sensation. So it's not one of those things
Yeah.
where in the past where you've got the bad vibes.
yeah.
It's something very different. And again, it's hard to interpret.
This is not like don't go there because I've had that before, and it's not like this is the best idea in the world, but it's like in the middle. I don't know, but even now you talking about it, it's making it go a bit bonkers.
And B, do you know what this means?
Oh, no, not at all. I do have a question about the rock, though, because I think you were talking about like switching places with people.
Yeah. Oh, when I was talking to Fancy Pants Man. Yeah. No. Yeah. It. I don't know. I can't really explain. I'm not exactly here when it happens, but like.
I am usually here.
Oh, I don't care about what happens on this side. I'm more worried about what happens on Rowan's side. So, like,
Oh.
when you went, did you ever end up in the consortium?
I mean, I ended up in Gerlach's office, which I think is in the consortium.
He is researcher for
I
the
don't
consortium.
know.
Yes,
I don't know about him.
he's great.
Um,
We nearly killed a hag and giant turtle together. It was a very fun time.
And I
Cool.
met like a person who was there, but otherwise, I don't know.
Who did you
I've
meet?
been- help Ham Nix. Nix is the character name that was. Yeah, thank you. I don't know. Their name was Nix. I don't know anything about them really, other than they didn't like that I was just willing to tell them the truth. Like they
Do I
thought
know this
that I
name?
would be lying.
Not
But-
recognizable to you.
I think the only thing we know really is that Gerlach's. Let me see if I'm right, but and help me here, Delgrim, because you've spoken to Gerlach and I've never met them. So we think that Gerlach's reality and this reality are not the same reality, but we don't know if the other ones who swap with me, the one that's me but not me, and the one that's Thea, and the one that's Thea, we don't know if their reality is Gerlach's reality. We only know that it's not this one.
And
she's like trying really hard to wrap her little tiny brain around a very big concept.
Important things is so Thea had a similar stone that Rowan has.
Oh yes.
Around her neck, and in Gerlach's reality, then I guess. So here, and B, I don't know if this is a thing you know or not, but place where Tiernan is from, Cathar Baal and Rendarian Empire went to war, and there's some kind of hostility there that happened in Gerlach's reality, but winner of war was very different than in our history.
I don't like reality messing. It's
I mean, I'm
alternate
not exactly
timelines.
doing it on purpose.
No. I don't mean I just messing with that stuff is. I know you're not messing with it, but like something messing with it is really bad, really bad. Yeah, I've seen what happens when you screw with time, and you shouldn't do it too much. Or not even time, just like realities and like control in general. It's just
I know it's hard to sometimes explain this stuff. Trust me, I know, because I keep having to try and explain it. Why do you say it's you know about time and stuff? Because I know why I know about it, but
well, I mean, it's the type of magic that I study, or studied, but B, yeah, Ham,
No.
the village, that only I know of.
Yep.
Currently.
Yep.
Is it a village that others would potentially know about? Not what's going on there, but of its existence.
No.
And I would be aware that it is just a nothingy little village.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's like this village where speaking of experiments, I guess, based on, tests that you were talking about earlier, this next person, but there was basically a test that my mentor wanted to run on a village. And it went really, really badly. No one can enter the village or leave it now. And I don't, I think I can probably theorize what's going on there, but I don't exactly know all of the intricacies of it. Basically, it's like it's stuck in some sort of time loop. It just happens over and over and over again. I literally watched one of my friends just get disintegrated when this spell was cast. And everyone that was inside it is affected by it. I don't think they know that they're affected by it because it's like Groundhog Day. If you've heard of that bard tale that someone told years and years and years ago, because I don't want to break the fourth wall. But
I have heard of it. The bartender in my town talked about that bard's tale. It's gone all over the empire.
It's yeah. So yeah, it's really bad. The village is still like that now. So you shouldn't mess with it.
What's the name of the village so we never go there?
Well, I'm gonna go there one day. I just not yet. It's called Braslov.
Okay.
Well, one day when I'm really strong, if I ever get there and learn enough about magic, I'll go back there and try to fix it, but I don't know if I'll ever get there. That's not the reason I wanted to talk to you guys. You know how you don't want to talk to Tiernan about the Empire?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
just be careful about the mage rot thing around Miera.
I thought that was very clear. We do not want Miera to contract major rot because she died.
I'm aware. Yeah. I'm aware. But also, I don't want to give any form of hope that we can help her from not contracting it. The things I went through to prevent myself from being able to get it are not, you don't just like take a test. It's not like a written exam where you sit down and you get given an hour and you've got to fill it out and hope that, there's no consequences. Like, people died in my trials.
What are these trials? What kind of thing? What kind of thing you
I don't think it's fair to ask someone to tell us something like that.
The trials, I have completely just blanked from my mind. But there's also there's the other part of it, which is the inoculation, which I remember parts of, and that really wasn't pleasant, because that's a whole other part, right? Where like the only things I actually remember is being taken to a room. I like laid down on this thing. So did my friend. We're both there and we got put to sleep. And I remember waking up at some point and literally all of my blood had been like drained out of my body and replaced with this like blue liquid. And it was really fuzzy, but I remember that happening. And then I remember not much else.
At which point, Delgrim then will look at Rowan. Yes, we are not going to have Miera go through any of this. I do not like any of this at all.
Even if you wanted to, because she'd have to be a member of the Arcane Consortium and she'd have to go through all of that. So my point being is, don't bring this up too much around her. Focus on the journey and where we're going and how to get through there, and not on the mage rod.
We'll do that.
Anything else.
In which case, perhaps there is a way to mask or disguise Miera, especially then, from those who would hunt her and these spellhounds.
It's not just the mage rot. It's anyone that uses arcane. Just because I'm protected from the mage rot doesn't mean that I'm hidden.
Okay, excellent. Ham. How do we feel about ranger magic at this point in time, and its proximity to arcanehood?
So the essence of the magic that Delgrim uses, the core elements of that would be psionic in nature, because of that is the essence of the Duragar.
Mm-hmm.
The Duragar don't actually. It's not something they inherently study. Like there would be some who would have knowledge about it, but it's probably not information that Delgrim would be overly aware of, because it's not something which is relevant. It's for him, probably the core understanding is he would know that he draws a lot of that magic either from his own psyche or almost from like the primal energies of the world around him.
Isn't that what I've forgotten his name? I keep referring to his fancy pants. The guy who... Thank you. Because names aren't important to Rowan. Saracen basically said that yours was drawn from nature, so it didn't matter. Grumpfel's was drawn from being...
I remember we mentioned the rest of you. I don't know the fact that Delgrim has magical abilities was mentioned, which is what I asked. No, that's fine then. Okay, that is fine. I guess the question then that I am asking is, while we are sneaking into the Rendarian Empire looking for this Solara to save the fucking world, then is there any way that you know of to disguise ourselves from those that might encounter us and turn us in, or hunt us down, or immediately kill us on sight.
I think this is not an answer that I can give you right now. I think we need to probably think about it. I don't think this is we're going to have an immediate solution, because I'm going to be honest, I just snuck out and we got caught. Like, we didn't not get caught. We got caught. And the only reason that we all made it out of the Rendarian Empire is because I went back for my sister. And I had to physically help drag her onto the boat. But I don't know. There are a couple of things that I can say for sure. Number one, Maedrot, don't talk about it. Number two, the Rendarian Empire, even by sea, everything is guarded. There are blockades, there are people, there's guards everywhere. Spellhounds. They can sniff out arcane magic. So it's not even a sight thing. Like, it's a completely different sense.
There was this one place, the Castle Shan, that is not part of the Empire. That seemed like a clever place to try and get in. Maybe.
But it's not just the Spellhounds, it's the Vanator as well. And they literally are a group sent from the Consortium that are trying to hunt down people who have escaped. I point at myself in the face. But also any arcane users that enter the Empire that haven't gone through the trials, they will try to hunt them down to make them go through it. Or if they can detect Maedrot, they'll just kill you.
I think it sounds like you're right. It sounds like we need to think about this. And we do not know each other well enough for you to know this about me, but I am not very good at thinking about the things. So perhaps we go back inside.
I can't imagine why.
I'm man of action. Too much of this what if and buts and maybes and thinking, it hurts my brain. I just want to...
One more thing that you need to be aware of. And it goes kind of hand in hand with the Vanator and hunting down. I don't feel currently like I am worth hunting down. I just want to point that out there. I don't see my import. But if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be my mentor. So if you hear whispers on the wind or see anyone refer to Destaria Opal, we probably need to absolutely run the other way because she's the one responsible.
Rowan.
Yep. Cool. Hi.
Hi.
Mm-hmm. How's my leg?
Rowan's rock explodes.
Rowan vanishes. And there is a tink, 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 tink on the road as you see her ring just fall to the ground.
Grumpfel will dive after it.
Grumpfel's inside.
The inside-outside thing. Keep
Delgrim will grab the ring, though. And he'll have a little freak-out moment first and then hold it up to B and just say, oh, it's okay. She's not gone to different reality. She's gone into the ring. This is a different thing that Rowan does sometime.
So, Kate, I'm going to ask you a question here. You and I are going to have a little thing.
Apparently.
A little thingy thing. Do you want everyone else to hear this or not?
How much do I want to mess with Promethean is really what this question is. I think it is a better choice to have them not and have Rowan tell them stuff.
Okay.
As necessary.
So we don't need to switch frames or anything, Saz. So don't stress about that. because this is very much off the cuff because I did not know that this was going to happen. But gosh, we're getting all sorts of shit tonight.
Wow.
Lord dumps, folks. Lord dumps.
Can everyone but Kate or O'Sullivan Kate on the socials, please remove your headphones and other various devices that enable you to hear what's going on.
Sorry. I didn't know this was going to happen today. Hi, Ham.
Hey, buddy. How you going?
I'm good. I love getting pulled into my ring for no reason that I'm aware of. Cool.
So, you find yourself in that very familiar setting of inside your ring, which you haven't been in for quite some time.
Yeah, it's not since a small explosion at a theater.
It was like Blick. 1 minute you're outside, you heard the mention of the name Dastaria Opal, and now you find yourself inside the ring. This time, however, you've still got your pack on because you were probably about to take it back inside. There is a heavy weight in the bottom of your pack that you did not feel before.
Can I pull the other rock out? Because I'm guessing that's what's weighing my bag down.
That it is. As you pull out the other rock, you watch as it starts to disintegrate in your hand into fine dust, which then starts to scatter up the wall, very much like that first time when you saw almost like that gem dust start to spell out messages. You see first Dastaria spelled out. And you watch as it spells out the name, the dust forms, and then the dust that forms that word vanishes out of existence. And the next pool of dust from your stone, which is now less, of course, forms my whole heart. And then that vanishes. And the next thing that appears is save her. And there is a very, very small amount of dust now that you find in your hand. Almost, you don't know how much quantifiably in many respects. But you see this sort of a slight shimmer on the wall for a moment.
How?
The dust swirls in your palm and starts to form on the wall. And it says, stop the. And there's not enough dust left to form the rest of any other words. And you watch as the dust that was there almost just blow off out of existence, leaving you inside your ring alone again.
But if she's gonna hurt, then how do I... Okay. I'll try. I guess.
She sinks down and sits on the floor of this room, trying to work out what she's gonna do next.
How long are you intending to stay in there for?
Let's say give her like time works the same way both spaces, right? So
it does, yeah.
And I can hear what's going on outside of this space.
You can.
So let's say give me like 10 to 15 minutes, but if something loud and obnoxious happens outside, that will cut her out of her reverie, and she will come back before that.
Feel free to speak up if I haven't pulled you back up before then. Can we get everyone to put their headphones back on? Oh. So, Delgrim, you hold Rowan's ring in your hand. No sign of Rowan anymore.
Generally, she's gone for a day or two. It's been a long time since she's gone hiding into a ring. I don't know why. What does this mean?
That's really concerning. Are you not worried?
No, she does not seem concerned about this situation. I think we had a conversation one time. She said it's perfectly safe. Personally, I am really looking forward to one day when it's going to come in really advantageous to have Rowan go into the ring, and then I'm going to tie ring to end of crossbow bolt, fire a ring like really far away, and then have Rowan come out of the ring and like stab something or do cool stuff.
Well,
it will look
maybe
really
I can
cool.
help. Maybe I just need to say my mentor's name, and she goes in, and then you can shoot her out.
You were saying the person who went you down was Desaria Opal.
I don't think she will. But if anyone's gonna, probably her.
Okay.
I'm not that important. I'm
Here's
really
the ring
not.
waiting just in case. No, that is not it. Also, I'm pretty sure, just in case you're going to say something mean about Rowan, I'm pretty sure she can hear things around while she's in there.
I don't have anything mean to say. I barely know you all.
This is true. But look, I am now very excited about you being part of this journey, even if it is direct and very dire potential of your own death.
Wait, you didn't want me to be around before?
No, I just said I am more excited now than I was before. Look, anything that is going to help us save Miera and apparently now the world, free this that which shines is a good thing. This makes me happy. Also, since we have something in common, we both want to return somewhere and address a problem that we do not yet feel ready for. My problem is hideous creature of some kind that I need near godlike power to face, is what I have been told. And I do not yet have godlike power, but these celestial beings, that's pretty close to godlike, right? So save world for them, help them untrap their friend. Maybe they pay favor back in return. I go back to my home, clear it of this foul being that has infested it, and my people can return to their home. Maybe.
What type of being?
I don't know. I don't know.
How do you
what
not
it is.
know?
I only caught a small glimpse before doors were crushed and dropped down, so no one could get in there, and so it could not escape. It's trapped right now. We do not need to have this conversation right now.
Hey, that's the second thing we have in common now, though. We've both seen people die.
I've seen truly so many people die.
Oh. Okay. That's really sad.
Where I come from is not a very hospitable place. You could die waking up in the morning, accidentally stepping on the wrong kind of mushroom.
Okay.
You
can die at the consortium real easy too. You just gotta be one of the experiments.
This does not sound like a very nice place at all.
It was fine. Until it wasn't.
Well, if Rowan is trapped in the ring, I do not feel comfortable leaving her out here. I know she wanted to stay and look after Kat. I feel like Kat is well protected. Between alarm, anyone sit in seat, they're going to trip my little trap. Grumpfel has successfully held this Kat. I think we just go inside. I'm getting a little bit sleepy.
I'll wake up in 4 hours and just come check on it.
Okay, that's a great idea. It's too much thinking for me. I need to have a lie down.
Yeah, you don't seem like the thinking type.
I'm not.
They were your words, not mine.
That is right.
Okay, well, let's go left and back into the tavern.
Done. And the exact thing will happen then.
Cool. You guys head back inside. Probably, I don't know, 5-10 minutes later. Rowan just suddenly, out of the blue, appears beside you, Delgrim.
How many minutes later?
Probably like, I don't know.
Like from when I disappeared, like 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, please tell me you went to the bathroom.
I no, but yeah, a bath would have happened, but it would have been maybe about half an hour. So okay.
Yeah, no, not yet. There's a reason I said 10 to 15 minutes.
And I would have like covered the room with a towel.
Just ghost me as I like.
Excellent. Yeah, so I guess Delgrim would just be doing some boring ranger shit like sharpening weapons or something at the time. Ron.
Sorry. I'll go.
No, don't go. You went, and now you're back. But for a very short time.
I didn't go on purpose.
Do you normally go?
Normally I go on purpose. Yes. This time, not so much.
Is this an everyone conversation, or do
no,
you want to
I don't think it is an everyone conversation.
Ron, are you okay?
So I just got asked to save someone.
Ord.
Not just Ord. Whoever, whatever.
Like she's like picked the ring back up and jammed it back on her finger where it lives.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever that is just asked me to save B's mentor.
Save from what?
I don't know. Just save her.
I've already had too much thinking time.
I know, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
No, is okay. I will have lied down. I'm sure I'll have great plan after I just get some rest. It will be fine. But
I will.
Distraction.
I will, don't tell B. I don't think she likes her mentor very much.
That may be the case, but what happens if you do not?
I don't know, but I have to think about it for more than, like...
And she, like, looks around to try and get a sense of time.
Like, more than, 15 minutes. Yeah, I just need time to work it out.
Okay. We will be needing to come up with some plan or many plans for going into Empire anyway, so perhaps we just have that as secondary objective that we consider in planning process. But secret secondary objective. If I do not think it bad thing if be no, though.
Let's worry about Miera and the Miera and Miera's head not exploding.
Agreed.
First.
But.
And I'll think about this for a bit.
B also says there's no real way to stop Miera getting a mage rot if that's going to happen. So apparently I need to stop giving her hope. I'll do that then.
So, I'm gonna go because I should not be in here. I'm gonna go check on Miera and make sure her head's not exploded.
She has the ring now. She should be safe.
No, but not every ring is safe by the sounds of things.
I see that.
Just gonna go check and work out where I'll be.
So
She's just gonna like head out of the room.
With that, you head out of the room. The evening, it is evening. Is there anything anyone else wishes to do on this already very eventful night of all kinds of tales and stories and secrets and the like?
Oh no, Tiernan would have gone to sleep hours ago.
Yeah. Tiernan's like do.
Yeah. Delgrim needs whatever the
Blissful
fantasy equivalent of like really bad reality TV is, so that he can just check out for a moment and just like not do the thinking about multiple realities and arcane diseases and such. He'll be just chilling.
So, Grumpfel
would like to ask one of the tavern owners if they have any spare cold iron for sale.
Interesting. Bridget would say that no, we don't. But if you go and visit Ishwin down at the local temple, he might be able to help you out because he has a little stash of it, which he uses, and he might be willing to part with some of it. Maybe it's like, I don't know.
Could I perhaps buy some from you and you get a replacement for yourself from this Ishwin?
Yeah, sure. How much are you after?
Oh, just a couple of pieces, if I may.
Yeah, it would probably only be maybe like a gold piece tops. And she says, I can get you some from around some of the windows. She kind of leans in and kind of whispers a bit. I don't really believe a lot of what Odrin does about keeping the Fae out. Plus, I mean, really, we are protected by the Accords in the village, but he's a bit paranoid about the Fae. So, in fact, you know what she says, and she goes and she like gets a chair and climbs up and gets a couple of pieces down from around the windows, and she just gives it to him. She says, you know what, just take it. I'll go and talk with Ishwin tomorrow, and he'll give me some more. And Odrin will never know.
I'll happily take it in the morning. No sense to take it down. Give him his solace.
Okay, come in. He goes for a morning walk. Come and see me in the morning when he's out, so that way he doesn't worry. We'll give you the iron.
Sorry, Ham, can I just add before we move on, if Rowan's coming to find Miera, she will probably walk on her in the bedroom, jumping up and down on the bed, because it's lumpy, and so she's trying to get the lumps out.
I'm pretty sure there were only so many rooms available, so we're probably sharing rooms.
Yeah, so
and someone else is in there with me, jumping up and down on the bed.
So who's sharing the room with Miera while she's trying to fix the bed?
Well, Rowan has in the past shared with Miera, so it may well be that Miera is jumping up on the bed, and that is where Rowan is in. Like everyone has assumed that Rowan will be staying.
Sounds perfect.
I'm just fully anticipating this image. Rowan walks in, seeing Miera jumping up. Not again.
So absolutely, Miera, you are going to town. So, with that, was there anything else anyone wanted to do? Just very quickly touching base. Cool. The next day dawns. You all emerge from your various rooms at different times to find a cold common room and a thick fog outside. Anyone who goes out to check on the horses and cart can see that none of it has been touched overnight. Whether it was due to the various levels of protection and precautions you made or any other things, you're not entirely sure. But either way, everything that you have there was exactly where you left it.
It looks a little bit disappointed.
Now,
you're muted, Promethean.
Promethean, you're muted. Yeah.
Wow.
Same. Checking the snare. Also disappointed.
So, is there anything that you are wanting to do before you leave town? Grumpfel, you would be able to acquire 2 pieces of cold iron.
The only thing that Tiernan would have wanted to have done is speak briefly with Aldrin to see where the superstitions came from, if he had a history, that sort of thing. Like, there's obviously something. There's obviously a reason behind it.
The cold irons thing?
Yeah.
Oh, he would regale you with a few tales of it is well known that that cold iron is something which the Fae hate because it hurts them, and there are even those who have used it to craft weapons to help fight the Fae because they're creatures of a magical nature, and sometimes normal weapons have had no effect on them. And there's stories and tales of that kind of thing, and people using cold iron as a way to both keep them away and inflict pain on them.
Well,
he's never seen it personally because with the accords in place, you don't really get Fae in the village. Although, he's like, you can never be too sure. Hence why, I do what I do. But, he knows of people who have had, cold iron weapons just in case.
Tiernan sort of asks and goes, oh, so it's like an insult to the Fae, you could show it around and they get insulted or something. Is that how much they hate it?
I don't think it would be necessarily an insult as such. He's like, I think it would be like if someone got something which you hated and despised, it would potentially maybe scare some of them. It could enrage them. I honestly don't know. I mean, I've never really sort of seen it used or heard about it used in that nature, but it was certainly pulling out cold iron to the Fae could certainly have a strong reaction. What that reaction might be would possibly depend on who you were showing it to.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else from anyone?
Not until we were underway. I would want to have a chat with B on the cart when we're underway, but not until we're underway.
What's the visibility like? You're saying there was a fog roll in?
So yes, so when you get up, there is fog already outside. Was there something that you were wanting to do?
Even though he's done his deal with the innkeeper for the cold iron, it was just more of just a little walk down just to have a look. But I don't want to lose visibility of the tavern, nor have others lose visibility of me. It was just basically wanted to go for the plan was to go for a walk and a look, but maybe it'll be a quicker trip than anything.
Yep.
I'm assuming that Tiernan would have seen Grumpfel get the cold iron. Assuming.
I will leave that up to Heath whether or not.
How obvious were you?
Wasn't hidden. It was just a discussion last night, and he collected it in the morning from her.
Grumpfel, I understand that there's some sort of agreement in place. That's the impression I get with the Fae folk and the lands we're about to enter. would the presence of cold iron be an act of an insult to them if it in fact hurts them to carry it? It's like walking into being a guest in someone else's home and having a blade, having a weapon drawn.
Oh,
Tiernan makes a good point. It's best to keep out of sight.
Was Grumpfel privy to the conversation about the Accord?
We went outside because that
We were
conversation
outside
was
with us, yes.
outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Taking the conversation.
yeah.
It was B who mentioned it.
Well, it's more of a curiosity. I've seen it before. I've never actually had any cold iron, and it was more of a curio. I don't make, given that yes, we know that it is a bit of a ward for them. I wasn't exactly going to go wearing it.
Well, here's a better question for you.
It was going to go into the backpack.
Well, here's a better question for you. Please, I'm interested in your knowledge and experience, but would the Fae view the cold iron as contraband?
Sorry, who are you asking that of?
Grumpfel.
Grumpfel, okay.
Does the Accord limit, if there's safe passage on the road per the Accord, does that mean that you can't take passage with your possessions?
I don't know. It's
so. Presents an interesting question: is what
I'm just
given that this is not our realm, this is not our area. Does any of us possess constitute contraband or something illegal against laws of which we're not familiar in this land we find ourselves? Certainly we could go looking for someone who is a lawgiver and has interpretation of any rulings and ask of them to make suggestions on anything we have.
Wow, that seems like a lot of effort.
But then I'll put the cold iron in my bag and we shall get underway. Thank you for your concern.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people don't trust the Fae for some reason.
Everyone is suspicious of someone thinking that they have something to take away from or to have taken from them.
So with that, you all gather up your possessions, load up the wagon, and as the morning progresses, the fog slowly dissipates until you are left with that slight mist that has seemed to cling to this small village since you've arrived. And who's driving the wagons again? It was Rowan and Miera, wasn't it?
Grumpfel's happy too, having been on a wagon train before.
Miera claimed to have experience. I don't know how much.
Pretty sure Rowan was just riding in the wagon.
Yeah, okay.
I was
Tiernan would happily take the reins if anyone was stupid enough to let him.
I was fully planning on doing it.
So it was Grumpfel and Miera driving as you all.
Do you need an animal handling?
No.
I'm just that good.
Look, I mean, it is also just a very simple wagon. So look, so you guys.
It's got this image of Mary getting up there and go.
Yeah.
Delgrim flying off the back.
Delgrim will be doing his usual thing of trying to stay ahead somewhat. See, like one of the ponies up.
So you'll be on one of the ponies ahead. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Not stupidly far, still within earshot, but just that kind of forward scout situation.
So
not one attached to the actual wagon.
No.
So you all make your way out of the small village of Elderwyn. As you leave, you catch a glimpse of those 4 youths just watching you head on out of town. And on the very outskirts, you see what appears to be a very small, very dilapidated chapel. There's no symbol to any god or anything on it. The front door is slightly open. The whole building is almost sort of on a slight lean. As you go past and begin your journey down the Twilight Road through the forest of Fayfair. The road itself is quite significantly overgrown in places as you begin to travel. And it is not a well-made road. It is more of a path that has been cut through this forest. And Delgrim, you would very easily be able to tell that it's probably used very, very rarely. The tracks through it that would normally be cut by carts or wagons if there was a lot of traffic are very faint, slightly overgrown with grass and weeds. And as the day gets brighter, the canopy of the forest itself seems to actually grow over the top of the road. So you're almost in like this encapsulated forest tunnel.
It seemed Delgrim visibly relax.
It's almost like a perpetual twilight in here as you make your way towards Wildport. I would like one of you to please volunteer to roll a dice for me. Heath, could you roll a d12 for me, please, my friend?
Oh.
The d12, the rarest of all
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons dice.
What?
That is a 6.
A 6. Interesting. About 3/4 of the way through your first day, you come around a bend in the road, and up ahead, just hanging, shimmering in the middle of the road, looks like something. It's almost like a raindrop, a large raindrop of which light, which is coming through the canopy of the forest, is refracting through, and you see beams of multicolored light scattering across the road and the forest around you. And it is simply hanging there in the middle of the road. And there is this stunning kaleidoscope of colors that this is creating. Delgrim, you would be the first to encounter this, of course, being ahead of the rest of the party.
So he'll pause kind of briefly, and is there anything more than that he'll be able to ascertain other than it's just a freaky dewdrop of some kind?
Make a perception check.
Sending light into it, into the world. Is this that which shines? That is 12.
12. It looks like a raindrop or something, but like it's large, like almost sort of the size of like a basketball, just sort of hanging, slightly moving in the air. But you can't ascertain anything beyond that as the cart kind of rattles up behind.
Well, yeah, and so Delgrim would kind of back up enough to try and get everyone's attention a bit. There is something on the road down here. A strange floating thing casting light into forest.
Is it in the road?
Above the road.
So you guys would be able to see it now.
Is it high enough up to drive under?
No, it's like hanging probably about a meter and a half in the air above the road.
Yeah.
Can I magic vibe check this? Do I get I don't like it vibes versus I want to go near it vibes?
Has anyone seen anything like this before?
Make I mean, look, feel free to make an Arcana check if you would like to see if you have got any knowledge of anything of this nature.
Hey, Hamish.
Yes.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
I got an 8, so no, I don't.
Yeah, no. For you, it's just like,
I rolled a 19.
Ooh, okay, interesting. So you rolled a 19. We got 8, and B is casting Detect Magic.
23 on Arcana.
23 on Arcana. Okay. So Tiernan, for you understand with your knowledge and your experience, nothing natural is going to do that. This is not a natural thing. But also you also don't know what it potentially is. Like, you just know that it is inherently not natural. Miera, for you, it's not so much your knowledge or your experience that gives you that vibe. It's more your connection to the arcane in the world around you. And you get that sense again that this is also not a natural thing. Just as B finishes weaving her magical talents, and B, for you instantly get the indication this is some kind of magical energy of the illusionary nature.
Do I get the sense that it's the type of illusion that, if interacted with, could be like a trigger?
You have Detect Magic, alas, does not impart that much knowledge.
Detect Magic or DM? No.
Whoa.
I'm joking.
Don't tempt me. Okay.
Do it, you coward.
What are you guys doing?
Again, has anyone seen anything like this before?
Not nature, from my experience. It's an anomaly.
It's illusion. It's not an anomaly.
So we can walk through it.
I mean, sometimes illusions, when interacted with, can't, it's still bad. So I'd just be careful. Approach with caution.
Like a trap of some kind.
Well, I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
But why else? I don't know. Not why else. Sometimes you cast illusions because they're pretty, but other reasons that you could cast them as like a make everyone look this way when something's happening this way, or
make someone walk around off the path.
Yeah.
Road.
Or that's a whole thing.
Which is
we
bad,
can't leave
yes.
The path. We can't leave the path. We're going on the path.
Okay.
Well, a simple experiment. Flick a ball bearing at the illusion.
So you're going to do that. I think, Cass, you were going to say something too?
I was just going to say, as B says, talks about it being a possible distraction, Miera will be starting to scan around, behind them and at the sides, just in case someone's sneaking up.
Cool. Miera, make a perception check. Tiernan, make an attack roll with an improvised weapon. So proficiency plus dex.
Grumpfel's going to dig the cold iron out of his backpack and put it into his pocket.
Yep.
Wow, I should roll this dice more often.
22. Okay, amazing. Nice. Miera, what did you get for your perception check?
13.
Sorry?
13.
13. Okay. You don't see anything as the rest of you watch as Tiernan flicks a ball bearing at this thing, and it passes straight through it, and there's a very slight ripple as if someone throwing something through a droplet of water, and the light reflects and bends and twists and warps, and it is absolutely stunningly beautiful, but there appears to be nothing else happen.
My eyes. And Delgrim will we have to stay on the path. We have to. Is there enough room on the path to go around it, or we will literally have to move through it?
The path is like, it's only slightly wider than the cart itself. The path may be like sort of 10 feet wide.
Great. In which case, then Delgrim will take his kind of his eye gauze that he definitely doesn't need under the trees, but this thing shooting off little rays of light is making him unhappy. So he'll put that on. He'll hold the hat up in front of him, and he's just gonna try and like work through this thing and block this light from stabbing him in the eye as he walks through it.
I agree with Delgrim. We need to walk through it.
So you're gonna ride through it, I'm assuming, or you're leading the horse through?
He'll leave the horse where it is. He's not gonna put the horse in danger attempting this first.
You go through all of those and you make your way through this light, and the rest of you watch as Delgrim passes through it, and again there is that slight rippling and that gorgeous sort of rainbow-esque kaleidoscope of colour. And Delgrim, you emerge on the other side. And for the briefest of moments, you think you can hear the sound of just very high-pitched laughter. Yeah.
Incredible. It's definitely some kind of stupid fate trick, but it seems fine. You can all come through.
Well, I'm just going to walk underneath it so I don't touch it, because I'm short.
The rays of colour would still touch you. The central element of it wouldn't. And someone will need to drive the cart through it.
I say Rowan's still in the cart, so Rowan will like try and maneuver the horses as best she can to get them to go through it. But
Tiernan just jumps back on the back of the cart and just starts patting his horse.
Yep.
I'm just along for the ride.
All of you pass through this illusion to emerge on the other side with the road still ahead of you, apparently seemingly unaffected as you continue on down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually evening falls.
Clunk.
Oh, up you get, bud.
And Delgrim takes 1,000,000 points of dickhead damage.
Wow.
What does that look like?
Yeah, look, it's too graphic for Twitch. What are your plans for the evening? How are you proceeding? And I will be assuming this is how you will set up for every evening as you travel through here. With the way things have normally been approached, with Tiernan does his alarm thing around the group, and then basically Rowan stays up all night because she doesn't need sleep, and other people swap in and out over the course of the night to keep her company.
Yeah, I think at this point, because a bunch of our stuff, I guess, is in the cart, and for Miera's sake, Delgrim will pretty regularly chuck a snare down on the seat of the cart.
Yep.
As well.
Okay.
I will likely offer to stay up most of the time, just purely because I only need to meditate for 4 hours. So whether that be the start or the end of the rest, I'll just bookmark myself somewhere there.
Amazing. Okay.
Miera's going to sleep in the cart most of the time, and if possible, she will sleep as much as she can, because she hasn't been sleeping well because of dreams.
Cool.
And I guess the other thing then, while we're working through this forest, Delgrim will cast protection from evil and good on whoever's kind of taking first watch.
What's the duration on that? Because I think it's only like 10 minutes or something.
Correct. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Nice thought. Really good.
But it's a nice 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
Rowan also has protection for evil and good and will be awake. So,
So when people are sleeping, where are you sleeping? Is everyone just going to try and sleep in the covered wagon, or are you sleeping?
We don't really have much choice. You said that the road was only as wide as the cart.
It's not much wider, correct?
Delgrim won't sleep in the wagon though. Underneath it at the closest, but probably a little bit further out.
Like behind it or in front of it?
I'd say behind, yeah.
Okay.
There's also under the wagon.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly as the snare
Rowan
going?
is sitting on top. of the wagon.
Yep.
Probably be sitting on top also.
Okay.
The snare goes in the seat of the cart in case someone tries to jump in and take off with
All right,
it.
so I'm not going to likely roll into it in my sleep or anything.
Be hilarious if you did, though. Just
It
saying.
would be.
Tiernan, I guess, is just going to be lying underneath the cart
Okay.
best as he can.
Grumpfel?
Well, Grumpfel let he'll probably camp out on the ground, close to the fire.
Yeah, cool.
I have the cart all to myself. Suckers.
It's sounding that
Delgrim was in
way.
there.
I'm on top.
Sleep in. Whole
Literally
cart to
on top.
myself.
Me and Rowan are there. We're just on top.
Where
Yep.
was Delgrim?
Delgrim
On
was
the ground
sleeping.
behind the cart.
Yeah,
Oh,
little
okay. I
behind.
thought you were in the cart. Well,
Yeah.
if that's the case, I would be in the cart. I'm not going to be lying on the ground if I don't have to be.
Okay.
Suck it, Miera.
No, right?
Cool.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
fine.
Caring is
Never
caring,
mind.
Mira.
Okay.
You and Tiernan.
Mira, you
So,
know
yeah,
what
then-
elbows are you?
Oh, yeah, I kick.
Yeah. So,
Cool. Make the senior citizen sleep on the ground. Yeah, cool.
amazing. Okay, so with everyone situated and organized around under the cart, the first night of your travels passes uneventfully. For Rowan and B, you guys, because you're sort of conscious the most, you would begin to become conscious of the various noises of the forest. There are sort of the typical sounds that you would expect, wildlife, birds, etc., etc. But every now and then, there's different sounds. Sometimes it is the sound of laughter, high-pitched, often in the distance. Sometimes it is the sound of almost like the tinkling of small bells. Other times you get the sense of things moving through the forest around you. You can't see it. The forest is too thick, the undergrowth too entangled. But it's like that out the corner of the eye, shapes, shadows. Never enough for you to really fully be able to focus on, but making you very conscious of the fact that you are definitely not alone out here.
Thanks, I hate it.
The
It's
next,
alright. There's things that go bump in the night, but it is what it is.
the next day arrives, and comparatively well rested, you continue on your journey. I would like Heath, do you want to keep rolling the d12 for us, buddy?
Can do. 10.
10.
No, the number after 9.
And before 11.
Delgrim, because you're in the front, you up ahead in the middle of the road as you're riding along, you see what initially looks like a rabbit suddenly hop into the middle of the road. It's largish for a rabbit, but not like unusually big or anything. Brown fur, sort of like a little white bib. But there's two things that are strange about it. When it hops into the middle of the road, firstly, you notice that it's got a horn sticking out of its forehead. The other thing that you notice that is unusual is that it hops onto the road on just its back legs because it's holding something in its little front paws. And you watch as it opens its little mouth, and you can see the usual large rabbit front teeth, red and dripping, as it bites into a little form that it's holding in its paws. And you can see whatever it's holding in its paws is very small. There are two large gossamer wings hanging from the back of it down. As this thing sits in the middle of the road, eating what appears to be a small fairy. Like right, probably about 15, 20 feet away from you.
I hate you. I'm going to have to try and shoot the rabbit. We're walking through a fairy forest. There's no way Delgrim doesn't see this and feel like he can curry favor with the Fae of the forest by trying to put this thing down. So he will just fire off a crossbow bolt then at this rabbit.
Hamish looks too happy.
I know.
Sure.
I hate you.
So are you trying to be sneaky about this? Are you being fairly...
Not sneaky at all. He's just gonna fire it up. He'll say like, "Let the poor defenseless winged creature go," and shoot at this rabbit.
Okay. All right. Make an attack roll.
17.
17. Okay. It hits. Can you please roll for damage?
I can, and I will. Ugh. 5. Passing damage.
Okay. The rest of you guys kind of rattle around just in time to see Delgrim raise up his crossbow. Tunk! And you see from where you are a small animal go tumbling down the road. Delgrim, absolutely you hit. Right in the middle. And you watch as this thing, the form that was in its paws kind of flies off to one side and this little creature falls to the other side. Not moving.
Okay, great. Love that.
Hell, Delgrim.
Do we see that?
Yeah, 100%.
There's some kind of little fake creature being eaten by a horned rabbit.
And the horned rabbit wasn't another fey creature?
Well, maybe, but I feel like the little ones with the wings are probably the ones going to annoy us and try and trick us and do all those kinds of things. I prefer that not to happen, so I felt like a good idea to maybe try and carry some kind of favor with them.
By attacking another member of the Fae.
Tiernan, I didn't think the entire thing through. I just thought it would be a good idea at a time, okay? And look, maybe it tastes real good. Delgrim will hesitantly approach probably the winged creature first. He's going to check to see if it is still alive or not. The one that was being munched down on.
Grumpfel will follow after Delgrim.
Okay. You find it, this small body, sort of just off in the tall grass. We're kind of got like flung aside by the impact of this.
Still on the road, right? Like, to be
still
clear,
on the road.
Delgrim is not leaving the fucking road at all.
Still on the road. Okay. And it appears to be a small male fairy, well and truly dead. Like, you look down and it is, I am not going to describe it.
Sure. Is there some kind of roadside tree, like branch situation that I could place this corpse on, perhaps?
I mean, there's all sorts of branches and trees and undergrowth and bushes.
Okay, great. Delgrim's going to do that and make a real show of it being like super respectful and careful. Just like present this little creature on a branch somewhere.
Tiernan's going to go looking for
Yes, Grumpfel, you look very keen to say something. What is it?
I was just going to check to see if the fairy creature had a 300 gold piece diamond handy.
Excellent.
That's a negatory ghost rider. That's right. Now
Delgrim's going to go.
But it's pretty much dead. It is. Gonski, stop doing CPR. There's nothing more we can do.
No, it is well and truly deceased.
Delgrim's going to go and tap this fucking horned rabbit with his boot.
So Tiernan had said that he was doing that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Looking at that stuff. So
great, better you than me.
All right.
Can Miera ask Grumpfel if there's any like death sort of rites that would include displaying bodies from trees, or that being seen as more of a threat?
I unusual displaying from possibly threat worthy. I would say honestly, any sort of last rites would have the creature's body presented in a harmonious, peaceful manner, perhaps laying down rather than being displayed off something or hung. Not to say that there isn't, but I would think that sort of at rest would probably be a more likely situation.
Kate.
I can clean the blood off them if you want.
Can I? B, are you still in the cart?
Yeah.
Can I turn to B and just say, so the accords that you mentioned, how do they go when it comes to fire and arrows in the middle of a fair forest?
I don't know.
Okay. Good. Yup. She is gathering up all her stuff so that it's all like together in one place, so that if she has to run the heck, she can.
Awesome.
Grumpfel will do last rites to the small fairy creature, just as sort of a laying to rest type thing, perhaps.
Grumpfel, would you like me to clean them up while you do this?
Look, I honestly, yes. Given the situation, of course, we're trying to be respectful of the earthly remains of this.
Yeah. Okay, so she
creature?
would just flick her hand, and you would see now like these tattoos on her fingers glow like a lilac purple. And I'm going to cast Prestidigitation to remove any signs of blood or yucky from Little Fairy.
Excellent.
I will break off a bit of a sparkle cookie and leave it next.
Oh, nice.
That's so cute.
Nice.
Okay, interesting. Whilst you're all doing that, Tiernan, you find the body of this fairly largish rabbit. It's tumbled a few feet down the road from the impact of the crossbow, and like when you find it, it's very dead.
Wow.
You see, the bolt has definitely pierced it, but you can also see like its mouth is covered in blood, where it's obviously been, supping upon the fairy that was in its paws.
Blinky, do you see anything nearby?
Make a perception check for Blinky.
Do you want me to make one as well, Ham? Given, yeah.
Blinky, what do you... Oh,
it's 14.
Flying object with an eye.
18.
18. Blinky kind of floats up and does like a full sort of 360 scan of the area. Floats back down beside you, and effectively shrugs.
The damage is done. Pulls out my pistol and eradicates the body of the dead rabbit.
How are you? So your pistol doesn't disintegrate stuff. So how are you going to deal? Like, I guess I need to understand.
It's gonna shoot it into bits.
Stop! It's already dead.
Yeah. So
Miera's just crying in the corner.
What is your approach to this?
Throw the occasional yeehaw in there.
Miera's just like approaching with a little bit of sparkle cooking.
Hold on. Lots of voices. John, what
Trying
you
to
say?
burn the evidence.
Okay, so you're going to just burn. Have you got a spell for burning or something?
Mainly just fireball, really. But
okay.
Is that likely to succeed in what I want it to do?
No, because fireball.
Then I wouldn't do that.
No. Like if you're wanting to destroy the body, you would literally have to like get flint and tinder and like burn it of that nature. Like firebolt's a very sort of instant blast of flame.
Okay.
It's not going to disintegrate stuff.
Well, I'm not going to do that simply because Delgrim made the mess so he can clean it up.
And he will approach the corpse of the creature then, and very similarly to with the winged one, not in a branch, but because it's a ground-dwelling creature, some kind of like bed of grass or something, kind of lay it down gently, and say in Sylvan then, if there are... In Sylvan, what should the accent for Sylvan be? If there are... wait, what have you used before, Ham? Let's just...
No.
It doesn't matter.
It's Italian.
No, did not immediately come out of my head the right way at all.
Do it.
In
do it,
Sylvan,
you coward. Do an Italian accent.
In Sylvan, it's always threatening, I feel, when Ham does fake creatures. If there are conventions and practices of which I am unaware that have not been met, I am, of course, willing to meet them. But should those conventions include some form of revenge, I will warn you, I am already sworn to another, and my life is forfeit to them. And there will just be a hint of it. He has no absolute idea what he's talking about at all. He is 100% banking on this being a potential thing. And he'll show the scar from the pact that he made with Lara Zamble in the hope that if he has screwed up, that his life technically being forfeit to another fake creature is enough to keep him in the clear of any consequences of that action.
Wow. Okay.
Why'd you shoot the bunny?
It was eating smaller winged creature. I felt bad for a tiny little one.
It was dead.
I was not to know that, Tiernan.
So, with this done, you continue upon your merry way.
Could you not say "with this done" with that tone of finality in your voice, please?
I think we all know.
Rowan is going to remain on top of the cart as identified to you, Ham, with her head on a goddamn swivel. Yep. With all her stuff. He is like... Yep.
So, you continue onwards, and the rest of the day is uneventful. Night falls. Once again, you are surrounded in the darkness of the Fayfair. As those of you who sleep get some rest.
I vote we don't let Delgrim stay watch.
Partway through the night, Rowan,
Yep.
and B, you are the two that are awake. Everybody else is asleep. You both see, because you've both got dark vision, quite good dark vision as well.
Yeah. Go team.
Yep.
Out of the forest, forms appear. Very, very small. Gossamer wings, beating rapidly, but almost silently, as they zip almost disconcertingly quickly across, hovering for a moment, then zipping in another direction. I want you to both please make perception checks for me.
Sure. Why not?
19.
19.
Hamish.
Emily.
It's a natural 20 plus 7 for a 27.
Jesus Christ.
So both
Nice.
of you,
Nice.
both of
Get
you see.
fucked, Hamish.
Wow. Both of you see that there are 3 of these small fairy type creatures. 2 male, 1 female. Very delicate, garbed in what appears to be almost like leaves or bark or something of that nature. And each of them, in 2 hands, is holding a small stone. You watch as they zip about. And then you see one shoot down towards Delgrim. And just hover above his resting form. And glances up at the 2 of you. And you watch as it puts the little stone just on his chest. And for the briefest of moments, you're pretty sure this fairy winks at the 2 of you. Off into the forest. The other 2, and interject at any time if there's things that you guys are wanting to do. One of them vanishes into the cart. The other one, over to where Grumpfel lies sleeping.
Rowan is going to call at the one that's going towards Grumpfel. What do you want?
It stops. And it turns, and it's the single female one. And it darts straight at you, Rowan.
Can I cast protection from evil and good on myself, please?
Okay. What does that do again?
Protection from evil and good.
Stops throwing straight in the tracks.
I am protected against certain types of creatures, including Fae.
What does that protection provide?
They have disadvantage on attack rolls against me. I also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Okay.
And I have, if I was already any of those things, I would have advantage on any new saving throw against those.
As you weave the magic, and you feel it flowing through you, this small fey creature it's almost like it hits something, comes back, and it's like it shakes its head.
What do you want?
If I can, Ham, simultaneously when a low-key aggressive move has been made, I'm gonna jump into the cart to attempt to see the other one, if I can.
You clamber down into the cart just in time to see the other one put a little stone on top of Miera. And it suddenly looks back at you. And it flies straight at your face.
Ooh.
Do you do anything?
I'm going to cast Misty Step to move out of the way.
Okay.
Hamish.
Yep.
I have alarm set up.
Ooh, interesting. How does alarm?
Until the spell ends, an alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area.
So how does the ward work? It's
a 20-foot cube.
Okay.
So whenever they pop in, it says whenever a tiny light touches or entered the warded area. I'm not too sure if you consider the air.
20-foot cube.
If it's a cube, then yeah.
So yeah, so the alarm would definitely activate.
Okay. A mental alarm alerts myself with a ping in my mind if I'm within 1 mile.
Yep. So absolutely. So you would get pinged, and
get pinged.
You're in the cart.
Yeah, I'd be one of those suddenly wake up, huh? Like literally just sit straight up and
So you would probably do that as you see this thing, because they're moving so fast, suddenly fly at B as who's clambered down. And you see B vanish, and it kind of comes to a sudden stop in the air.
What the hell?
It spins and looks at you, and then just out the back of the cart. The one that Rowan had bounced across sort of you, also just turns in the air and off back into the forest.
I'm immediately jumping down to see the stone that is on Delgrim's chest, please.
And Tiernan, you'd also be able to see one that's been placed on Miera. It looks like a very small, perfectly smooth stone that has been placed upon them.
Will I wake Miera up?
Do you?
Miera, wake up.
Yeah, Miera. You get woken to Tiernan.
But I'm trying to don't move. A phase left a deposit on your chest.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's the clip.
You're really on that one.
Wow.
Incredible. Press the clip button for that one for later.
Beautiful.
So Miera, you look down and you can see a small stone sitting on your chest.
Can I pick it up?
Sure. Is anyone checking out? Is anyone going to Delgrim?
I
think Rowan was.
Rowan was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna use a stick on account of we are outside.
Yep.
To like try and knock it off his chest.
Yeah.
Whilst trying to wake him up so that it's off him.
Yep.
Because I don't know what's going on in the cart. So.
It would be difficult to wake Delgrim up, I don't think.
You knock it off with zero issues, and wake up sort of Delgrim at the.
What?
Little fairy thing left. And she's gonna point at she's just flicked the rock off your chest and it's on the ground next to you. That on you.
It's a small rock.
Very weird rock.
Good
rock, bad rock. Don't like it.
You pick it up?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so
you die.
So Delgrim,
I would then also step away to wake Grumpfel up because I imagine he needs to also be awake because he's not currently.
Delgrim, you pick up the rock. Miera, you take the rock off your chest. Both of you are like, huh. As you just get this flush of it's when you have a strong but very enjoyable alcoholic beverage, flush of almost sort of slight lightheadedness and joy and pleasure from it. As you have both been given a luck stone, which will give you one use of inspiration at any time that you wish.
Excellent. For the sake of that small sense of joy, Delgrim, I guess we'll just pop that into his pocket to pull out at a later time when he needs a little pick-me-up. Okay, great.
You would be able to wake up Grumpfel. The entire party is conscious and awake now.
What's going on?
little fairy things left weird rocks.
Maybe they're tracking stones.
Does not seem to be harmful. It has good vibe to it. I know
Mine
rocks.
feels happy.
Yeah, my rock also feels happy.
Wait, winged creatures left rocks?
Yeah, little winged fairy thingies. Like this big, I
Like
think.
See,
Like-
Tiernan, I told you, doing kindness for small winged creature pay off in long run.
You were lucky.
yeah, interesting. Did they do anything else?
Did they do anything else while I was sleeping?
Oh, yeah, looks like I'm the last one to
yeah.
Well,
To the others. So who was awake? B, and he'll ask Rowan, kind of knowing the Rowan would have been awake.
I mean, they flew at my face. But I'm sorry, Grumpfel, there was one that was going to fly at you, and then I talked to it, I think. And then it flew at me.
She does not look impressed by like any of this. Whether they have come out with luck or not, it's just like.
I certainly hope they weren't taking affront to us trying to assist their fallen comrade earlier today, but I guess we'll just have to be wary.
Maybe they just left it as a show of appreciation for them.
D-
They
d-
specifically
d-
targeted Miera and Delgrim.
Did they say anything? Did they do anything else, or when you sort of spoke, it startled them and they flew off, or did they do?
I startled it, and then it flew at me.
Oh,
So I
okay.
did a little magic thing to make sure that it didn't hit me, because Fae are Fae. And then it flew off. I don't know. I just asked it what it wanted.
Wonder if it understood what you said or not.
It's hard to tell with these tiny fake creatures. As much, I was being polite because I thought maybe I had done something that was very, very bad and going to get us in a lot of trouble. But apparently, maybe it helped.
Did you say anything to them, Delgrim? You speak their tongue?
I do, yes.
Did you say anything to them? I obviously
I just
was asleep.
I kill little horned rabbit because I feel bad for winged creature in his mouth and apologize if I had done anything contrary to their expectation. And I gave a nice little spot for dead bodies to lie on.
Oh, that was earlier. That was
know.
Earlier today. Did you say anything to them just now? I was asleep. I did not see the.
No, Rowan woke me up. And
oh, okay,
there was
right,
a rock
okay.
next to me.
Right, interesting.
Tuck her little rock into her pocket, and call out in the general direction of where the little people flew away, and just say thank you, and then go back to bed.
Yeah, Doug will do the same, but in Sylvan. Suck it.
Use the right accent this time.
Thank you.
Grumpfel.
Oh no.
Grumpfel.
Yes.
You hear the other two calling out the forest, and you take that brief moment to kind of look around, and you turn just as out of the darkness, this small pebble goes and like hits you like right between the eyes. You're like, oh god, and like it's more surprise than pain itself. As you look down, and there is a third one of these little stones, and you hear again the giggling from amongst the trees.
So Grumpfel's going to look, like scooch down and look at the rock. What does the rock look like other than a rock?
It looks very similar to the rocks that you saw Delgrim and Miera have.
I didn't. I think they put them away before I got to see
them. Very small, very plain, but very smooth looking rock.
Light color,
like
dark color.
Like just sort of like just a lightish kind of pebble you would find like on a riverbank or something like that.
Like a tumbled quartzite or some sort of sedimentary rock.
It's a rock.
Okay.
Which geologic layer do you think that rock has come from, Hamish?
My ass at this point in time.
So metamorphic, high pressure.
No.
The horse's apple.
No, after the hot sauce, it's volcanic.
Yeah, it's copper. It's coprolite.
Coprolite. There you go.
Coprolite.
Yeah. Porcelain poop.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't want it to be.
God.
Oh, actually, hang on. If you're saying it's coming out your ass, then it's got to be a schist.
Schist. There it is.
Yes.
And
it wouldn't be nice.
The rock spins and vanishes back into the
Yeah, good.
Okay. Well, Grumpfel will pick it up.
Mm-hmm. You get that same sense that the other two got.
What sense was that?
That sense of that rush of kind of like slightly drunkenness, slight lightheadedness, but also sort of happy, good vibes. As this is also a luck stone, so it bequeaths to you one use of inspiration as you see fit. One use and one use only.
Oh, okay. Is that kind of meta knowledge, or is that the vibey feely from this is a special rock that will grant a special thing?
Yes. Column A, column B.
Oh, thank you for your gift. May your life and duty be long and blessed.
So with that, you all return to your rest. The rest of the night is uneventful, and the next day dawns. The next 2 days of travel are uneventful as you continue the long journey to Wildport. On the 5th day, far from the Scimitar Mountains, deep within the Faefair now, you round a bend in the road, and Delgrim, up ahead, you see off, half on the road, half off the road, on its side, a coach, finely made, painted in black and deep red. You can see that one of the axles is broken, the wheel shattered. The horses nowhere to be seen. You can see on the road itself one of the doors of this coach, obviously ripped from it, just lying in the middle of this road.
Mm-hmm.
Where the door was, you can see a body half hanging out of this coach as it's on its side.
Mm-hmm.
You see two things about this body. First, there is no head. Secondly, it appears as if it was almost cut in half. Gore and blood splattered everywhere. However, darkened as if this occurred definitely not recently, but also hard to ascertain how long ago.
Okay. I think Delgrim will shout down the road real quick in Undercommon to Grumpfel. Slow the group down, brother. There's a body up ahead. And we'll very quickly investigate. First, not the fucking carriage or coach or body, but the road itself for any evidence of what it was that sent it off the road.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, crikey, roger that.
Yeah. It's a 16.
16.
It appears that Delgrim's found something up ahead and has asked us to slow down and proceed with caution.
Delgrim, from what you can see, it is comparatively apparent what has occurred here. It looks like the carriage was going in the same direction as you and has careened off the road. It's hard to tell what's caused it to, but you can see the marks from the wheels through the dirt and even the undergrowth that it's veered off and then flipped on its side.
Mm-hmm.
You can see hoof marks heading in one direction away from where you are. Probably the hoof marks of the horses that were pulling this.
Mm-hmm.
You also see some hoof marks coming the other way.
Great. What time of day are we talking it is currently?
So this would be mid-afternoon.
Yeah, okay. In which case then, and I feel like I'm, again, not too far ahead of the rest of the gang, but we'll kind of head back a bit and meet them and fill them in on that information, so the various tracks. I do not think we are at risk of being run off-road by whatever this is, because as long as we travel slowly. Only way you can go screeching off of the road is if you are clip-clopping very fast, yes?
Or the horses got spooked.
Or horses got spooked. This is a very good point, and I did not think of this. Thank you. I think we proceed cautiously, and when we break camp for night, we take extra precaution. There could be something in this area that is very dangerous, certainly capable of cutting a body in half and removing its head.
Was is the wagon off the road?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
I think that is a result, though. I do not know if decapitation happened first or if decapitation happened after. I do not think that is the most important part of this scenario either.
So, some precautions couldn't hurt. Miera, in the event that the horses get spooked, could you put them to sleep?
I could try, but it depends. I might get other people as well.
How long would that last?
Close. A minute or two.
That would be enough to settle them, surely. Just keep that in up your sleeve.
Okay, I can do that. Question for the DM: Does the body have a 300 gold diamond?
Rather if the body's still on the road.
No one's gone and had a look, so who knows? It could have all sorts of things on it.
Yeah, I was hoping that the rock from the ferries was a 300 gold piece diamond, but alas, no. Just turned out that it was sedimentary, my dear Watson.
Excellent. So if the others want to do something with the body and the coach, that's cool. Once that's done, like Delgrim's not going to touch it at all. But I think as they progress, if they progress, he's going to stick much closer to the group than he has been. So he'll be essentially leading the horse as they continue to Wildport.
Yeah, to water, to Wildport, to support.
Yeah, you're right.
Without proceeding off the road, if we can somehow get the body out and sort of lay it down and cover it with something, and at least sort of just say a few words.
So what exactly are you guys doing? Just I need to understand this. So you're going to try and take the body out of the crashed coach.
Don't pluralize this. This is Heath. This is on his own. This is Grumpfel doing this shit.
All right, Grumpfel will approach the. Are we there, or are we still?
Yeah. You're like right. It's 20 feet in front of you, like off to the side.
No. Wait till we get up closer to it.
Yep.
And then once we're there,
yep,
have a look to see if there's anything dangerous around or what have you. And if it's not, then Grumpfel will say, perhaps we should just lay this poor person on the ground and sort of just cover them, because no one once their life has left should be displayed like this. It's a poor reminder of our own mortality.
If it's off the road,
it is not fully off the road. Like it is.
Like we could retrieve the body, right, without venturing off.
Then it's against the rules, Grumpfel.
Is the body off the road?
So the cart has started to veer off and tipped. So it is partly off the road, partly on the road.
Okay.
The body door on the side is open, and the body is like hanging out the side.
Out onto the road, or out onto off the road?
Like hanging out towards the roadside.
So we can safely retrieve the body without putting ourselves in danger of going off the road.
At least half of it, anyway.
Well, Grumpfel, it is a lot more effort than tiny winged creature or small horned bunny, but
okay.
If you insist,
just looking at this coach, you said it was like it had finery livery.
It's a very finely made coach. Yes. Okay.
Is there then in that case is there curtains or what have off the door or some sort of material that's flung out?
So because of not flung out, you would need to, because it's on its side, you'd almost need to you'd need to get up a bit higher, so either on top of your cart or something to see inside it and stuff, if you're wanting to work that stuff out.
Do we have in our cart a spare? And actually, I said we got some spare canvases and what have you, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Grumpfel will cut roughly a 6 foot by 2 foot wide piece of the canvas and just put that over the body. Say a few words. Well, get someone taller to help because it's half hanging out of a tipped over cart. To just put this over the body, and he will say a few words.
Okay.
And would it be disrespectful to light it on fire?
I do not know. That could be misinterpreted. At least covering the body is I don't know. That's a very good question. We do not know the faith of this individual that's passed.
Do you have any rituals that use fire for your dead or anything like that?
No, in Svazina we tend to, the old ways, yes, but the new tend to wrap and entomb.
Okay. Just an idea.
Okay.
We're going to continue. We should do so with great caution.
Who is helping Grumpfel get the stuff on the body?
I'm
He
just gonna
specifically said someone taller, so Tiernan, you're up.
There's two options.
B, you could help. You're tall.
I'm happy to help as long as I do not cross the boundaries of the road.
Yeah. Well, if the body's on the road side, like Hamish said, all we're doing is just literally...
if I can just flap the canvas, as long as I'm not passing over the boundaries of the road, I don't care.
Okay.
Go and flap the canvas.
Yeah.
Is that an expression from where you're from? Like out of Dodge?
No, I'm literally flapping canvas.
Oh. So you guys get the canvas sorted out. I would like you to both please make a perception roll for me.
You're looking out for diamonds.
Yeah.
13.
The cart is full of them. You just never looked inside. There's thousands of them.
21.
That's why they tipped over. They're too heavy on one side.
Yeah.
You'd think some would spill to give like a lid.
Onto the road.
What did you get, Grumpfel?
21.
Oh, okay. You guys go about getting this all sorted out. Grumpfel.
Yes.
As Tiernan is furiously flapping the canvas, something familiar about the body.
Right.
You think that you've seen, like, it's so hard to tell without a head, but you think you've seen this person before.
Well, then Grumpfel will sort of, as Tiernan is flapping the canvas, Grumpfel will grab him by the wrist, and say, "Wait, does this clothing look familiar? Do they look familiar?"
No. Never met this person in my life.
Grumpfel will call to the others. There's something very familiar about this body, though without head.
Grumpfel, does it matter?
Well, can I throw myself a bone with a brainwave there, Hamish, and perhaps it could be one of the delirium?
You've got no. It's familiar. That's all you know.
Okay, so it doesn't look like any costuming that the delirium were wearing in Harrow at the theatre.
Nope.
Okay.
Delgrim will approach. Tiernan, do not dismiss Grumpfel's feelings like that. It could be his fucking mother or father for all you know. That is so unkind. What are you doing? Grumpfel, feel free to investigate. And Delgrim will 100% load another crossbow bolt into that fucking crossbow and just hang back a little bit.
So the familiarity comes from the clothing?
There's something about the clothing looks vaguely familiar, but that's, you know, again, without a head, the fact that you recognize that it all is a minor miracle.
Okay.
But that is all you know. It's just like, you're like, there is something about this person that looks familiar. Something about the clothing, but
and this feeling is a little unshakable. That like it needs to be investigated.
I don't know. It's up to Grumpfel whether he feels it's important or not.
What is it? What's the
Bees in the background, fingers crossed, going, "Please be Esme. Please be Esme."
Male figure.
No, I mean like humanoid.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get the body out and have a look at this. I have the feeling that it's familiar. I don't know. I have this feeling that I may know this person or may know of this person. Need to drink. Grumpfel's accent slipping. It's a night of accent
body without crossing the boundary.
Yeah, you can probably pull it out.
Crossbow comes up. I'm
it
holding an action to shoot that thing the moment anything moves coming out of that coach.
Tiernan's gonna grab.
The coach has two eyes
legs.
open.
The legs are inside the carriage.
Okay, so the arms.
Mm-hmm.
And try to drag the body out.
Okay, make an athletics check for me.
Can we be helping?
Sure. Right with advantage.
Again, with the plural. No, I'm not helping. I'm so far away, holding this crossbow, pointing it at this coach.
13.
13 with advantage?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Look, it's long and it's unpleasant. But eventually the body flops and falls onto the road. And you can see the wounds, while grotesque, are also blackened around the edges as this body just lies there.
Do I recognize it?
No.
Does anyone else want to have a look at the body in case it seems to be jogging? Grumpfel seems to think he knows them.
Anyone else is more than welcome to make a perception check to see if...
I'll take a squiz and see if there's any like freckles or scars or something that I recognize.
Does the jacket have a name badge? Hi, my name is.
Like, this is a regular-sized humanoid, not necessarily an elf, not necessarily a orc, not necessarily...
None looks like vaguely sort of humanish, yeah. It's like not an orc or a goblin or a...
Just a human.
Gnome or anything like that, yeah.
I rolled an 18.
18? Anybody else?
I rolled a 2, so no.
Cool. Yeah, 18.
I rolled also an 18, so...
Look, for both of you...
From sitting on top of the cart where I have become basically ensconced.
I mean, both of you are just like... maybe not. I don't know. Really hard to tell.
Do they have anything in their pockets?
Sorry?
I was just saying, do they have anything in their pockets?
Yeah, look, I mean, you rifle through the dead body's pockets.
Respectfully.
And you find a wallet that's got their driver's license.
That's exactly what I was looking for, you know.
Oh, no wonder it crashed. This expired 6 years ago.
You find a couple of gold pieces, but nothing else.
Ham, this cart you said was like quite fine looking, nice. Is there any sort of insignia, crests, any like identifying fabrics that like would give us some sort of clue as to where this person has come from or whether they're part of an organization or family, etc. Just from the clues we can see without leaving the road.
Make a perception check for me, B.
Okay. How much do you hate me?
I don't hate anybody.
It's a 24.
24.
That is a lie.
Okay. B. You look at this coach and you look at the body. You look at the coach. And then you're like, hold up. With the fact that Grumpfel has called out that there is something familiar with this, without that, it would not have triggered your memory. You're like, that coach is the coach that about a night before these guys all turned up, you had seen when you were out walking with Salus near the wilds. And you recall 4 individuals in it, all wearing very ornate, strange masks and grand finery. And as that little moment clicks in your brain, all of you hear a sob from inside the coach.
Mm-hmm.
and we will stop there.
And
as soon as you said that, I looked at the clock and went, yeah.
Well done.
I was like, and that's where we're ending the episode.
And
you should have cast that fireball.
Grumpfel, if you hadn't have got that 21, you guys would have been like, cool, on the coach, way we go.
Bye.
Look, hey, who knows what happens next? I'm going to kick off our favourite moments because I can. My favourite moment is getting B to deliver all of the lore for me.
Yeah, well done.
It is, but no, in all seriousness, it is. Fucking M, you did an outstanding job considering the amount of info that I had thrown at you. But I love it when it is PC engagement, PC versus PC, those kind of conversations. I think it binds things together, and the entire group did a really cool job. I appreciate that some people had a little less to do this session, but everyone was really cool and was like invested and listening and active with what was going on. So I thank you very much to M for being awesome and on all of that lore stuff, but also just all of you for being there for all of this information and engaged. That's cool.
I can always go.
Yeah.
I love how that I think it started with B revealing information, and everyone's like, "Don't tell Tiernan," and then more information comes out, and it's like, "Don't tell Miera." It's just, oh, okay, and then more information comes out. It's like, "Don't tell B," and I'm like, "Is this the start of the end?"
Who hasn't told who? Who knows what about who? I'm like,
Rowan knows too much information right now. Yeah. It's not okay.
Everyone tells Delgrim things.
Yeah,
which is just foolish.
But terrible
say,
decision making.
He's pretty good at sitting on secrets, depending on if he thinks that information needs to be divulged.
And I absolutely love playing a character who doesn't do insight checks.
I'm so glad that there is a new intelligent character in the party, because the way Tiernan is in general, like just refusing to make that aspect of his personality a thing, has irritated me for so long. I also kind of love it. It's good. I enjoyed.
It's based on wisdom, mate. Not
yeah. I enjoyed Rowan bamfing out mid-conversation at something that had been mentioned. I thought that was brilliant. I was not expecting it. Watching, I think, both myself and Emily react to it was incredibly fun. We didn't know what the hell was going on. And just a second little chance to be out of the loop on stuff. That was cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, mine is 2 instances of the party doesn't know, but the characters concerned do, which I think is always fun to not have everyone know everything all the time. I think it's always fun.
It is. It's like, it can be good to know the secret stuff because you can help drive the narrative towards that thing. But of course, the risk is always, it can be very hard to not meta that. You know, even no matter how hard you try at times, it can just be almost incidental in nature. So,
yeah. I also think it's nice that chat know, but also chat, don't spoil it either.
Yeah.
Thank you for not spoiling it, chat. We appreciate you.
Who else?
I enjoyed the tiniest members of the team taking care of business.
Yeah, halfling power.
Threatening the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Good go.
Outstanding.
You
threaten. I just said, kids. Where are you going? They're adults. They're over 18. It's fine.
Look, to be fair, one of them was going to be blind if he took another step. So.
Yeah, how close were the two of you to actually fuck those kids up? Because that would have been
not very, actually.
That close.
Yeah, I think Rowan was aware that Miera was that close, and Rowan was like, "No, I don't think we need to to have another issue with another town."
But here's just a curiosity, and I don't mean to interrupt. If stuff happened outside, the people who were inside, how many of you guys would have run out?
Oh, Delgrim would have easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Tina
What?
would have.
No, what? Also,
Oh,
Tina
okay.
wouldn't know.
Oh, good. I'm putting that in my notes. Thanks for that.
No, more of a case of he's like, oh, they can handle it. They're capable.
Good save.
I enjoyed the Miera-isms this evening. One of them being the running backwards and forwards in the cart to try and make it move.
Yeah,
that was cute. That was super
And
cute.
also the broken off sparkle cookie.
Yeah,
that was so cute.
That was the final part of the. You know what? They're gonna appreciate this.
So cute. Loved it.
These deposits on chests. As was.
Hey, Grumpfel got his thrown at his forehead.
I know.
Yeah, Fey deposits was very good. Thank you, John. That was
that was not intentional.
I'm just going to edit that and clip it, and it'll be sent straight to the internet.
Amazing.
To enjoy.
Amazing.
Grumpfel, what was your favorite moment? Heath?
It's not so much in game as out game, and my favorite moment, well, it was some of you lovely folk, but it was also our lovely audience. The love powered train we had,
the hype train. Yeah.
The hype train. To hit level 10 so early in the night was like, it just makes you sort of go like, people are enjoying us doing this, and I thought that was a fantastic part of the evening. And it feels good to sort of say thank you and have my favorite moment be a non-gaming portion.
Rock on. Absolutely. Hey, I think we've probably only got one more session this year, and even that we need to make sure we nail down. With that in mind, as always, and off the back of what Heath has just said, hey, you guys in the audience, you choose to spend time with us, and
you fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
And we love you for it.
We do. So thank you so much. We are now going to go a plundering, a raiding. I believe we've got a target.
Phoenix Iwaki. Yeah, I'm going to head to Phoenix Iwaki, I think.
Awesome. So we will see you in a fortnight's time. We're going to find out what is in this coach. Is it going to murder the party, or is it going to murder the party? Tune in and find out.
That's it. That's the prelude.
That's the prelude. That's it.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, excellent.
We're all gonna die.
Outstanding. Hey, look, thank you very much, everyone.
It's a mimic with livery.
Yep.